Good morning, good morning. I brought another panel, 3 new fresh faces, fresh eyes who know nothing of the situation, and we are going to be going back to Upper Echelon Say No to Conspiracy video, followed up by his bungled, aka Bungie video, which is somewhat related and connected. I'm going to bring my panel up now. They are friends, they are allies, and they are people that have been around the internet and don't know everything about this. So we're going to start with first Kate.
Hi.
Explorer of the universe. I can't say his name because I'm crippled with words right now. We have Macany90, the t-shirted historian, and of course, Gary. How are you guys all doing today?
Good.
Once again, I'm the only living person amongst all you Muppets.
How dare you call me a Muppet?
And we're demonetized already. Quick thing, I'm going to say... I know. I'm just being... I would like to say, first of all, good morning to Wade, as well as Dee Dee Myers, and anyone else who is watching in the chat. This is going to be another one of the cancel culture virus episodes, and again, focusing in. We also have a special guest who is just waking up and combing his hair. Welcome, Nick Weiser.
What's up, dude? I
No
got
swearing.
on like 10 minutes ago, and then my internet would not let me log on. I had to shut it back off, and then I shut it back on, and then Twitter was giving me issues to get onto Streamer. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? 10 minutes before this all starts?
It happens. But since you're here, I'll give the rundown right now. We're going to be, T-shirt, Macany, and Explorer of the Multiverse are pretty much going to be the fresh eyes on the first video that we have seen before. So if you have any questions or want to give perspectives, just say pause, or I will pause and ask you guys questions.
Okay.
From there, we're going to go into the second video, which is the red logo you can see behind you. We're going to keep swearing down to a minimum, and we're going to see how you guys look at this without knowing anything about it. You understand?
Okay.
Understood.
Thank you for giving us your time. Welcome, chat. We are going to start now, adding to the stream. And let's do this. Welcome to the first part of the follow-up reaction.
Okay, so today's going to be a pretty intense video because the situation I'm about to talk about has literally ruined a man's
your mics
life.
if you're not
Can
talking.
he rebuild? Possibly, but that would require that he be allowed to move on from these events, which the Twitter mob is apparently unwilling to let him do. The subject is Say No to Rage, also known as Lano, and the situation is an onslaught of accusations that paint him as a serial harasser, with some even going so far as to claim that he is a predator or abuser. The story begins, well, it actually begins over 5 years ago, but the main portion kicks off with a situation in 2018 involving a fellow streamer named She Snaps, or Mind of Snaps. Snaps, as I'll call her from now on, was a friend, maybe at worst an acquaintance of Lano, who had been a guest on his podcast while exchanging messages with him for quite some time. These messages were friendly at that time. However, there are in fact 2 different timelines here. The first timeline is the actual occurrence of these events, and the second timeline is when they were weaponized against Lano. It's an entirely separate occurrence here. What transpired in the initial timeline, as the events actually occurred, was an incredibly complex chain of events unfolding during a Destiny-based convention. I won't turn this into a rehash of all the existing...
Now, before I get into that, for those that are new watching or don't understand, Destiny is pretty much a game that's been around for 8 years, going from 1 till now 2. I have been playing it for about the same amount of time since the beta. Pretty much a multiplayer online first-person shooter with raids and etc. This is pretty much their community focused on and how it's spread out through their conventions he is relating to, for those that don't know.
Testimony, because most of it is almost a year old at this point, some of it is far older, and the documents are very, very, very long. I'll have everything I used in the research of this video linked down below, however, as an index, so if you want to check it all out, feel free, it's all there down below. In summary, the convention went sideways when Lano got extremely high off of a vape pen belonging to She Snaps. This put him on a pathway to oblivion because as the night progressed, he said a number of things and acted in a certain way, which resulted in She Snaps feeling uncomfortable. Some of the keynote items were when he touched her hair at the dinner table, when he leaned against her on the bus, and when he would rub his own legs and say things like, "I get very sexually liberated or awakened when I'm intoxicated." These things, among others, resulted in She Snaps claiming she felt very uncomfortable and subsequently avoiding socializing with him for the remainder of that trip. After that, the downward spiral began. There were claims that Lano stole a creator badge for future conferences, which he was banned from, or snuck into them, that he tried to be near her at those events, that he even went so far as to schedule his own meet and greet time slot to be adjacent to hers as a way to get closer deliberately. And ultimately, their relationship from a professional and personal level completely fell apart. Here's the thing. I don't care about this. No one should care at all about this because, as described from all sides, it is effectively petty high school drama. A St. Jude's legal team investigated the situation after it was reported to them, found there to be no significant action items whatsoever, and life went on for both of them. Or so they thought. Now, when I say I don't care, I don't mean that there is nothing of consequence in those interactions. If you want to say that he was creepy, perfectly fine. If you want to say that he should have acted differently, also fine. If you want to personally distance yourself from someone because of accusations like this, or their actions at conventions, all power to you. But the most critical component here is that these interactions were dealt with at the time. She Snaps sent Lano an extremely long letter laying out all of her feelings. She told him exactly what had transpired from her own perspective, exactly why his actions were so unpleasant for her, and he profusely apologized. This was years ago. What happened after that is where things got bad, because that is when accusations of him specifically rigging his meet and greet time slot to be near her surfaced, or allegations that he either stole a creator badge or snuck into the conference that he was banned from attending. Now we move forward in time to last.
All right, I'm going to pause it there and ask the three people that have never heard about this before. In general, do you think at all when it comes to this, the apology was meant to be for everything, or do you think it was more if you were friends with someone, you're apologizing because you didn't mean to make them feel uncomfortable and you want that misunderstanding gone? How would you take that?
I do not know what to make of this yet. This seems very complex.
Yeah, this is a really, really complex thing, and I think I need more info.
Cool. That's good.
Summer 2020. Right now, there are just two main characters, Lano, the man accused, and She Snaps, the accuser. However, our cast is about to expand dramatically. Because 2 years after the letter had been sent, 2 years after the St. Jude's legal team had investigated the incident fully, and 2 years after they had determined that there was nothing significant to act on, She Snaps goes public with a long, detailed document rehashing the events from 2018, reposting the letter she had previously sent him, and further explaining a few situations in the time since where he had allegedly, as I stated previously, scheduled his meet and greet purposefully during the same time slot as hers and snuck into an event while hiding his badge because he had somehow maliciously acquired a creator badge so as to get close to her again. That's when things really hit the fan because she wasn't alone. Simultaneous allegations of inappropriate conduct came cruising in from all different directions. Princess Kitley, another streamer who had long been socializing with Lano, posted a series of direct message screenshots to Medium with a detailed description of how his sexual jokes had made her uncomfortable. And Viro, another member of Lano's community previously, posted a Twitter thread about how they had engaged in a very intimate conversation at a bar one night where he asked, "Would you like to go someplace quieter, like my hotel room?" which pushed her to have a nervous breakdown and miss her flight the next day. A streamer by the name Jules Verne spoke up about how he had put his hand on her thigh during a card game at one point. Next, a streamer named Sarah Daniels jumped on board, saying he had creeped her out after he cornered her and made her feel uncomfortable at some point, so much so that she apparently, at the time, blocked it out of her memory entirely. And lastly, a streamer by the name Melrose chimed in, saying that Lano had come up to her at a bar, put his hand on her thigh, or tried to, as they talked. She denied him, and he later messaged her his hotel address. Meanwhile, her comment thread is filled with, "I'm so sorry you had to experience that. That's disgusting. And I'm so incredibly sorry this happened to you." Lano got hit from all sides, and it wasn't even over. Streamer Sh55, and I can personally attest to the fact that she is a drama fiend. This girl absolutely loves drama, seeks it out whenever possible, and I have personal experience with that from way back in the Division days. She jumped on board calling him an abuser and a predator, escalating the language dramatically. Dr. Lupo signal boosted some of the allegations out to over 1 million people and got his name literally trending on Twitter. Twitch banned his account, he lost tens of thousands of followers on all other platforms, and now, most recently, his Destiny account, the game, which is his main game and therefore effectively a major slice of his business income, has been developer banned with no option to appeal. That's important. We'll come back to that. This is where the timelines merge. Years ago, Lano had been attending conventions and made certain women feel uncomfortable. At the time, they dealt with it by sending him messages, letters, or even asking St. Jude to open a legal official investigation. 2 years later, in unison, their stories come out, and Say No to Rage gets buried. Here is one section I feel I need to highlight. These situations were largely handled before the publicity hurricane. As for instance, we can look at Princess Kitley, who posted a series of screenshots, deliberately omitting all of the parts where she sent explicit messages back to him, and she concluded with a screenshot of the lengthy message she had sent to him in light of his comments making her feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to read it all. It's pretty lengthy. There's really no point. You can if you want to, but it is phrased respectfully. Honestly, it's high quality, while bringing up the issues and clearly setting boundaries. It's a healthy thing to send. Well, Say No to Rage, Lano, responded to this with his own paragraph reading as follows. Quote, "No worries, Kitley. It was just a silly joke that I probably pushed too far from early on. Sorry, I joke like that with the guys and being dirty and never considered it would make you uncomfortable. To me, you're just a fun friend like the rest of the guys I chat with, Skype with, and play with. But you're right. It isn't cool to put you in that spot, and I'll keep it in check from now on. You're obviously a good friend that respects me to bring this to my attention, and I appreciate it." End quote. This interaction is perfectly fine. She clearly articulated what he had done to make her feel uncomfortable and how it occurred, which is very healthy to do. He responded, apologized, said he would make sure it didn't happen again, and it didn't happen again. He had been flirtatious. She had rejected that. Whether or not I or anyone else feels from the additional context in screenshots that she was engaging with that behavior willingly as well is irrelevant. He had apologized, fixed the problem, and no further issues occurred with that person. That's dead and buried. That's a situation that has been resolved, and I'm struggling greatly to understand what about that deserved to be called abuse or harassment. Likewise, additionally, many of the other claims also follow this parallel. The claim that one night in a bar he talked intimately with someone about their past and stated, "Would you like to go someplace quieter, like my hotel room?" can be considered creepy, depending on cadence, tone, or phrasing. It can be insensitive or even highly obnoxious when it's understood that the person he was asking was an openly self-professed queer individual, if his underlying intent was truly that of a sexual nature, which he disputes. But is it nervous breakdown worthy? Is it miss your next day flight worthy? Is it bring this up again years later in a slew of accusations about times where he flirted badly or hit on a woman with little success so as to ruin his entire life worthy? You tell me.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because now I actually want you guys to answer that question, if you guys have any thoughts on that part.
Well, there's a lot of information that's being left out of this that I've read on the case, including all the stuff that led up to the vaping, and that some of it seemed like he was set up by a few people. But past that, I'm not sure if he's ever going to get into that, because it seems like we just kind of glossed it over.
Unless I somehow missed it, they keep saying he said things. I don't feel like we're knowing exactly what's being said to make them feel uncomfortable. Because if they're legitimate concerns, then yes, they should be addressed. But it feels like there's information being held out, and because of that, I can't really say if what he's doing is bad or not.
Well, I have this general opinion that if you go to a lounge, you should expect people to hit on you.
Oh, of course.
You know, and it's not a safe space. It's a place where people interact and mingle. And for you to have a nervous breakdown because somebody hit on you is bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, no. And there's nothing wrong being hit on. Of course, there's not. Yeah. But they're saying, oh, he's saying these are inappropriate things. Okay, what inappropriate things? Like I said, unless I'm missing it, I don't feel like they're saying it. And it's just like, so
Well,
did he actually say anything
exactly.
inappropriate or not? Because
Exactly. Well, it's
tell
also
us.
because each person has their truth as to what's appropriate or inappropriate.
Yes, everyone
Different from
has
person to
their own,
person.
and that's where it's complicated because
They're being
everyone.
too vague. Yep.
Yeah, they're you got some who say they want to be treated like everyone else, but then you want people who have special treatment. Sometimes the two contradict each other with those same people. So I was like, which one is it?
All right. But the other thing I want to ask quickly, like the way he just said that, if you're at the bar and let's say you get hit on, right?
Yeah.
To the point where it made you uncomfortable, where you're gonna have an emotional breakdown, where you miss your flight. Probably, and flights aren't cheap. Do you honestly think that even has any relevance? But the thing is, he also said is that she contacted a friend to take her home or to the hotel. So if he wasn't coming from the hit on creepy standpoint and said, hey, if you're uncomfortable, if you're having some problems, do you want to go someplace quieter? I know how that line seems on both sides, but
something doesn't add up, Fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't like he said, well, I'm going to head back to the hotel and then forced her into his room. It was an invitation. How is that creepy?
Yeah, he just said it, and you just ignored it.
Yeah.
And he left, and that was it. He didn't.
Go ahead, McEnany.
No. Go ahead.
No, yeah, go. I'm still trying to.
I wanted to ask. Is the second video upper echelon's response?
No.
Okay.
The second video has to do with this video and what happened after this started getting traction.
Okay.
You will find out more because he does.
Okay, because I saw because I did see upper echelon's like follow up video after, so I figured that was the one you were talking about.
Okay. Good morning, Amber. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Amber.
So, do you guys have anything else to add before
I? I guess from my just rewatching this again, yeah, I do agree. There may be some things that don't add up, but at the same time, Rage, he did apologize. He showed sincerity, and he made sure not to happen again. So, I guess.
Well, he was apologizing for conception. It's all about that. He's apologizing if that was how you felt.
Right, if that's how you felt. So I do think that this is something. I agree that this is something. This should be just like one and done. Hey, you know, we're wrong way.
Amen.
With that I don't see any reason for it to be blow this situation up, especially with all the allegations and such coming out at the same time, as he was saying.
At the same time, you have to remember these events happened in 2018 and they're bringing it back up in 2020.
2000.
Well, when cancel culture runs out of things to do.
And also, it's just one other thing is that I always believe that people deserve second chances and people can change. And for what I've seen of Say No to Rage, he's definitely much different, much better than he was back then. So I don't see a reason why he can't be forgiven or given a second chance, because he's shown clearly that he's moved on, he's matured, he's become a better person out of it.
We're going to get back in the video, but I think you'll understand more as Echelon gets on, unless someone else has something else to add. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Ezekiel. And good morning, everyone else who is lurking in the back. Let's get back to it.
Here is where I have to play some clips, because the narrative that emerged on one side claimed collusion in order to coordinate these statements for maximum damage, while on the other side, the narrative shaped that he was so awful, all these women, emboldened by the continuous stream of excessive bravery, posted their own encounters. One of the most vocal advocates for people to unfollow Say No to Rage on Twitter especially was Sarah Daniels. Sarah Daniels repeatedly claimed that, quote, there wasn't a group or a plan or collusion. But casting doubt on that statement in her own words, you can hear the following.
So Danielle's partnered with Advanced GG, and they recently took a partnership with Lono. and at the same time he got verified on Twitter. So we had all been talking about it in a thread, and it was just like, is someone gonna come out? Like, is someone gonna finally say something about this dude? Because like, he's just like top of the Destiny directory all the time. Like we have to do something. Like, something has to be done. So I was like, I'm not gonna come out. Like, I you know, he didn't touch me. He said some weird shit to me, but like, I just don't feel like my story's powerful enough to like be the one to come out like and start the whole thing, because we all knew about snaps, and we've known about other women in the community, but it was hard to
That begins to frame these events quite differently, because she also references, what are we going to do? He's top of the Destiny directory. In her own "he also creeped me out" thread, she says, quote, "And Twitter out here putting verified badges on these nasty men, and female Destiny Twitter out here like, oh, that's cool. He harassed me. Good thing he's glorified everywhere and top of the directory. That's awesome. Coolio boolio." End quote. The
Can we
context here
pause?
now has a completely different atmosphere. He was
Go ahead.
Just that, like I understand from like the other stuff that we were just hearing, like the other accusations, that's very iffy. But from what Sarah Daniels was saying, and from what she was saying, that just comes off as very malicious.
Yeah.
A very
Mhm.
coordinated
Very.
attack to cancel him. It's just like it actually, to me, it kind of puts the other accusations beforehand more into question.
Mm-hmm. Can I add to that?
Yeah, go
Sure.
for it. This is open
Yeah.
forum.
I don't know how well you guys know of the drama that's happened in the comic industry, but this sounds just like that. There's this thing out there called the Whisper Network. It basically consists of a
Exactly.
Mean Girls club.
Mhm.
Yep,
Your Gail
exactly.
Simones and
One
your
at a
Kelly
time,
Sue
yes.
DeConnick's, and it feels like that, but with the video game world. It's an equivalent to that, and this is adding up. It's looking very planned and coordinated. Like they're using Twitter as a way to form an alliance, and they probably have some behind the scenes club where they collaborate and they collude, and they are trying to cancel this guy.
Now, before the next person replies, I want to say this in general. Nick, McAnee, T-shirt, and Explorer, you have never heard about this situation before, have you?
No, never.
Clueless.
No. No, the only reason I heard from this situation, because you were bringing it up on a Stephen Walton stream, and you were very upset about it.
It hurt me because I was there the day when he realized he got developer banned. Because
Yes.
I know what it feels like putting 8 years in a game and having it take it away and no reason why or no way to fix it. And it's heartbreaking because you invest yourself. Your guardian is
Mhm.
you in a way. So that's why I brought Fresh Eyes on this. And you guys already bringing this up is pretty crazy because we're only 10 minutes in and you're already seeing some weirdness.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
The weird thing is, at this point, it's already happened. He said what he said. He's never touched her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's just said on the thing, and he has already apologized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then that should be it. We're done. We apologize. I'm sorry, and don't talk.
Not to
him.
mention there was an investigation that was done.
And there was an
and
investigation.
found to be nothing there. So what happens next is, well, if I can't get justice through the legal system or the school or whatever, or program, I'm going to take it to the court of public opinion.
Right.
Yeah,
Can't
and
report.
that's like, no, we it's over. Why are we? Yeah,
Because people from the cancel side of the culture
Mhm.
like drama. They
Yeah.
love drama.
And
They need it.
once you apologize to the mob, they don't stop coming back.
Exactly.
Thank you. The other thing you were saying is like I'm going to rewind it back a couple seconds just because I want to actually where is her? I want you guys to listen to how she's phrasing things.
Right.
Oh, I caught that, but yeah, do
Right,
play it
because
again, 'cause it's
it-
interesting.
Go ahead.
So,
No, that's all I said. It's interesting.
Danielle's partnered with Advanced GG, and they recently took up a partnership with Lono. And
All right.
At the same time, he got
So already they're bringing up that he got partnered with GG. This is the first one.
This sounds like envy to me.
yes.
It sounds like envy, and the things that she was saying afterwards, such as, is anybody going to bring up the accusations? Everybody's
Sounds like
going
a
to talk
call.
about it, because I've never interacted with him. I've never been hurt by him, but someone needs to bring it up. That comes off as very malicious. very malicious,
It's petty.
very petty, and in some cases, kind of evil.
Very.
It kind of seems just like dogpiling.
Mm-hmm.
And is
That's
she,
a good terminology.
she's a Destiny player too?
I'm not going to spoil too much. There's more in the video.
Yeah, there's more.
But she is playing Destiny right now. This is her gameplay. This is actual clips.
Okay.
Right.
But I'm going to get back into it. Just listen to her words.
Okay.
So we had all been talking about it in a thread, and it was just like, is someone gonna come out? Like, is someone gonna finally say something about this dude? Because like, he's just like top of the Destiny directory all the time. Like we have to do something. Like something.
All right. So far, partnered with GG, and he's part of the Destiny community Twitch at the top. So everyone's seeing the Twitch community. He's usually at the top. Does that sound like a reason that?
No, it's not a reason.
No,
That's no reason.
It's popularity. This is what it sounds like. Popularity jealousy.
She's mad that he's more popular.
Absolutely.
And she comes off like the Anita Sarkeesian, like the I think I forgot what her name was. Her name was Jessica, and she was fired off of Guild Wars a few years ago. Just a lot of those people who come off as very catty, as you say, and very malicious and evil, kind of like the Whisper Network and such.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is continuing to look more and more just like the Whisper Network of the comic world.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, but when they do this collaboration, this is their way of getting to the top. Rather than work their way to the top, they cancel their way to the top.
Which is a good point, because given that she's playing a game and her body language is limited, her eyebrows perked up like she's annoyed or disgusted when she said he's always at the top.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not just that they're being malicious because they're malicious. They are very envious.
They want what you have.
This is why we need to gatekeep, because this is
if we can't beat him
involved.
Yeah, if we can't beat him legitimately, let's break him down and destroy him as
Let's destroy his soul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah,
cancer
this is definitely sounds like something. Ezekiel brought this up, but this definitely sounds like something that Sophia Norwitz would be covering and such as well. So, like the more independent outlets, not the the mainstream outlets.
Right.
We're gonna go back into this unless anyone else has anything to add, because we still have this plus the other.
Now go for it, buddy.
No, I'm good.
Has to be done. So I was like, I'm not gonna come out. Like I he didn't touch me. He said some weird shit to me, but like I just don't feel like my story's powerful enough to like be the one to come out like and start the whole thing, because we knew. I mean, we all knew about snaps, and we've known about other women in the community, but it was hard to.
That begins to frame these events quite differently, because she also references, what are we going to do? He's top of the Destiny directory. In her own
can I
He
get
Also
you to
Creeps
pause for a
Me
sec?
Out thread, she says, quote,
All right. She says, he said weird shit. Okay,
yeah, right.
Okay, weird shit is like
Very interpretable.
Yeah,
Very
it's
interpretable. Yes.
Like if I tell you guys, well, today I just took my frog out for a walk and we both ate lizard grass. That's weird.
That's some weird shit. Yeah.
That's weird.
Some weird shit.
It's like, what does she mean by weird shit? Because I got to tell you
what does she
something.
mean by weird
I've
shit?
had a lot
the-
of women say some weird shit to me.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like did Lano say like something really offensive?
Your mic is tweaking a bit, historian. Sorry to tell you that.
Is it?
Yeah, but at the same
Okay.
time, like that's like saying she's never been on YouTube, where 90% of YouTube is saying weird shit.
Yeah.
Like
It's like going to a bar and finding that drunk that just threw up and then they're hitting on you. That's definitely saying weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not French, Ezekiel. That's not French. That's Quebecian. That's definitely a difference.
And I'm not trying to downplay just like the whatever accusations and such that were thrown against them before this, but it sounds like that in a real situation, if somebody says like weird stuff to you, normally people wouldn't get so uncomfortable. Usually they would just walk away or turn away or just be like, okay, and then find another place to sit at or stuff like that. Because
or you talk to security. Sorry to cut you off. You talk to security. If you're that uncomfortable at a bar, you know what you do? You go to security. Hey, can you get that weirdo away from me?
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
line of defense for every woman at a bar is the bartender.
Or kick him in the balls.
Or and I think to add on to that is that even I think the same thing is if this guy's trying to flirt with you and you turn it down, yeah, you either just kind of walk away, ignore them, or you go to security and talk about it, and then that's usually just it.
Yeah, but the problem with some of these people that are, I refer to them as safe space people, that they don't want to be put in a position of having to say no. It's like you shouldn't be pressuring me in any way, shape, or form. Well, if that were true, then the human species wouldn't propagate.
Mm-hmm.
That's how humans work. We're animals. We're a higher level of animal, but we're animals, and they want to take that out of the equation. It's like, sorry, there's no safe space from being hit on. It's going to happen.
And the thing is that it's very. I'll even say it's high school. It's very middle school.
It's very childish.
I've been turned down when I was growing up. They said, I like this girl. Did you go out with me? And said no. And then, I may have felt bad. I may feel like I felt dumped or something like that. But you move on with it. Just like they weren't interested.
You have people out there that are trying to say that doing this is a form of sexual assault. They're actually saying that flirting and hitting on somebody,
or if you're just asking somebody out,
Yeah, it's sexual harassment and potentially assault if you touch them, like on the arm, not in one of their private zones. Just touching an arm,
or if you're just not even making any physical contact, you're just talking to them directly.
Well, it's even at the point now, offering to buy a drink. They're trying to they can even twist that, saying, "Oh, if he buys me a drink, is he going to carry it over? Is he going to put anything in it when he walks from there to here?" I'm like, well, he's trying to talk to you. They are trying to talk to you. It's not about uncomfortability,
right? And to be fair on that statement, yeah, it goes into the whole, never take drinks from somebody else because you don't know what they put into.
Never do that.
That I can understand.
Yeah.
There's some contextual stuff here too.
All right. Someone had something to say. Who was it? Was that Nick?
That would be me. I thought about this and I realized a lot of the people who are coordinating this stuff are very, very young people, and you're probably thinking, what the heck has to do with anything? This is the type of group that comes from the internet generation where they learn how to associate with people online first and in person, whereas I'm assuming some of us come here from the generation when we got turned down in person. We had to rely on the internet to approach them for conversation. And that alone is a huge difference because for some reason, if they had lived in the world pre-internet, they would not handled anything then because they have such little social interaction in person that the slightest sliver of it in the real world hurts them.
There's some contextualization problems too, I've noticed. What?
I hate to say this again, but your mic is getting worse.
Like how? What do you mean worse?
It's really
Is anyone else
crackly.
hearing
Crackling and
really
popping.
Crackly.
I mean, there's some crackling and popping.
Shit. Okay.
You might. I'm gonna mute you. You might just have to unplug and
Turn
replug
down
it
the
back in.
gain.
Or turn down the gain.
But I think he's right. I'm interested to see what T-shirt has to say because this is in what you were saying a minute ago about this generation. It really is just a messed up way of thinking, and it's like, oh my God. Imagine how these kids would have reacted to the stuff we had to react to.
They don't know what it's like to have a proper social life because everything they do is through a screen.
They don't even understand. No, they don't even understand Halo loading room thingies and the shit talking therein. They don't understand.
Oh my God, yeah.
They wouldn't last 5 minutes in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
Absolutely.
Where you got 12-year-olds who have
happened to all those
puberty
little
yelling all that
10-year-olds
stuff
from Halo?
They'd all break down. They'd all break down.
Sorry, and to add on to what Gary was saying is that, this kind of situation where, a guy flirts with a girl and then, they go around making accusations on Twitter. That's something we're seeing very common. I'm noticing it's very, very common with these kind of situations, and it's happening more often than not, to where, people, it's that thing where, guys are maybe afraid to ask girls out, because of this stuff.
That might be
Mackney, we're at the
common.
point.
Okay.
Sorry,
That might be common amongst quote unquote influencers, but real people, I don't think so. That's a little hyperbolic.
Well,
that's a good
I work
point.
in the
That is a good
comic
point.
book. I work in the comic book and film industry, and a lot of my friends that I do work with, we've all come to the conclusion that if my wife doesn't go with me to the convention, I'm not going, because I don't trust some of these people that are going to these conventions. I think they're all looking for their opportunity to do this shit to people.
To add to that's the same thing that, like, remember when the whole ninja controversy came out about how he won't stream with girls, right?
Oh, God,
this falls in the same type of line, because technically Kate also falls with you because he is also an influencer, but he's also protecting himself from anyone doing a screen cap, an image grab, any type of kind of content they can twist to make it look like something else.
Right.
And right away, when they didn't want to understand that narrative because it made sense and it was logical, they tried to make him out look like a sexist. They went, like, no matter what, they're always going to try to find that one way to trap someone, and that's where it is. It's like the Admiral Akbar always yelling it's a trap, because they go through it all.
Yeah, and that is why Henry Cavill, of all the men in the world, is still single.
Right, and Ninja said that if he has a female streamer with him, he's gonna have a bunch of other guy streamers as well, just to play it safe. If he's gonna be streaming with a female streamer, he's gonna be doing it in a group with other guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we get back into it, or do you have something else?
Well, yeah. I never got to finish.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. I didn't know if you were back yet. Yeah, because I was waiting for you.
Right.
I was waiting for your
Okay.
statement.
All right. Well, okay. She mentions at one point that she says, okay, we all knew about snaps and others. And the thing is, where she puts...
What happened?
You're right there, dude?
I think there's something up with his mic. I think the gain is overwhelming his computer.
I can't even hear him.
The audio card. No, he's gone.
Yeah, he's cut out completely.
I tried. Hold on. T-shirt, if you can hear me, leave and come back from the studio.
All right.
Wait, stop. Wait, talk?
Yeah.
You're perfect now. Okay.
Yeah, now is the best he's sounded.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was saying, there is a contextual problem with what she says, because she talks about, first she says, what are we going to do about this guy? And then she says, she talks about snaps and others and everything. So it's kind of like, to me, you have like a priority issue here. It's like, okay, her first priority is him being at the top of the yards and everything else. And then it sounds like she's coming back to using snaps as the excuse to try to take him down.
So she's using snaps as a wall, is what you're saying.
Or as a, like a brush fire, basically.
Meat shield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
All
it's
right,
like
cool.
a catalyst. She's using that other person as an excuse to then build up a narrative that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
That's better.
And I'm curious about whether or not what Snaps has had to say about this in light of all these things. Does anybody know?
Not at this point that I can remember, but let's get back in the video because it might be mentioned. Is
Okay.
that cool with you guys?
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, you guys are doing awesome. Thank you.
And Twitter out here putting verified badges on these nasty men, and female Destiny Twitter out here like, oh, that's cool. He harassed me. Good thing he's glorified everywhere and top of the directory. That's awesome. Coolio boolio. End quote. The context here now has a completely different atmosphere. He was successful. He was rising in his career. He was top of the directory, verified on Twitter, gaining new contracts. And Sarah Daniels openly admits that a group of people, I am not privy to who exactly was contained within that group, were discussing what's to be done. Look at him. We need to take him down. It's already a spiderweb, but there's much more. One of the core components of the manifesto of She Snaps was that Lano had rigged his meet and greet at one of the conventions to coincide with her own. But from the receipts, email verifications, and DMs that both her and Lano shared, we can see quite clearly that his appointment was booked and confirmed a full day before hers was. He could not possibly have booked this maliciously to get closer to her, seeing as his appointment was actually scheduled first. Next up, the idea that he had somehow stolen or procured a creator badge for one of these events in an inappropriate way. Well, there is eyewitness testimony from someone also in attendance, which verifies that no, in fact, he was given the badge by a convention staff member who insisted he have one. It was confirmed by St. Jude that they legally could not bar him from the event, so his attendance was in no way violating any given order or parameter set forth by any actual authority. He did not schedule his meetup at the same time. He did not steal or otherwise maliciously acquire a creator badge. It was given to him with insistence. Furthermore, a quote from She Snaps on a future livestream came out where she discusses the events and more specifically, the moments where this most recent campaign began.
So I was like, babe, I gotta go. She posted it. It's go time. I gotta go. I gotta go support her. So I reached out to my lawyer immediately because, again, I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest. Reached out to my lawyer immediately and ran just the first draft of the text I was going to respond to Jaws with through him, and said this is what I want to post. Is there anything that I need to be concerned about? And he gave that base level approval that I needed. So I responded to Jaws and said me too, and I'm gonna need some time to compose my thoughts.
Pay close attention to the verbiage.
Can
she posted it.
pause?
It's go
Hold
time.
on.
Yeah.
That
Oh
is the
my
language of
God.
someone
Oh my God.
expecting
Let's
the post.
unpack what we just saw.
Okay, so
One at a
lawyer?
time, guys, wait, one at a time. No over talking, please.
Sure. No, because I wanted to point out the very thing that what's her name, Sarah Daniels said. It's just too much. He needs to be taken down. Okay, that statement right there, it pretty much negates everything. It pretty much negates the accusations you're throwing at him, because it's not really about justice anymore. It's about just taking him down just for your own growth. And the fact that it's coming from someone who has had no interaction or little, or hasn't been hurt or has little interaction with Rage, makes it much worse. It makes it feel more coordinated.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
One of the first things you discover about a thing called gaslighting is the use of emotional manipulation, where you act emotional about something. And so therefore it gives it more gravitas, and it's to lead your listener into believing that you're really upset about something. And she started doing that, and that was really annoying me because I cannot stand manipulative people, and that was very manipulative.
I agree with that. It's because they're not. She didn't look very emotional. It looked like she was trying to force the emotion, like she was trying to think of something horrifying to look like she felt attacked in an emotional level.
Yeah, she's talking about the most mundane thing in the world. I got to go support my whatever the heck she was
My
saying.
sisters, and even the thing is that I think we heard from Snap, she just brought up Me Too, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel like that's a red flag.
They were piggybacking it on the movement.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Does anyone else have anything to add before we go on?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you. Let's get
All
back
right.
into it.
To be made, understanding that when it is made, they should be ready and springing into action instantaneously. This clip also outlines that she had contacted her lawyer, fed her proposed message through him, and then posted it in response to Jules Verne within 5 minutes. 2 minutes later, Sarah Daniels had posted her own thread. Within 1 hour, far less than that actually, Dr. Lupo and King Gothalion were on board, and eventually this snowball of impressions and engagement catapulted the topic into the trending tab, thereby ensuring that the widest possible reach of the message would be people who know nothing else and simply see the surface level accusations, never looking
Pause
deeper,
for a second.
never finding out more. Thus,
This is called a coordinated attack. This is
Sure
planned.
seems like one.
Doesn't seem like it. That's the only way that happens.
I'm going to try to stay unbiased to this, but I can agree. But I've already seen this, and I already can see how this looks more like take the man down over.
Yep, they're setting up a hit piece.
Yeah, it feels
when
like
they're that close together, all on at the same time within an hour. I'm telling you, that's
they all knew she was going to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
It's coordinated.
Right, and I completely understand, Stephen. Being unbiased, it's just the way she's wording. I guess my thing is that the way she's wording it, it just doesn't. It comes off as a wolf in sheep's clothing. It comes off as it comes off as malicious. It's all different ulterior motives, rather than just wanting to see justice for the accusations or for the women that Rage is made uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Can I just add
Sure.
I don't mean to sound biased.
Sure.
So I've known who King Gothelion is for a long time. And I don't think that this would be something that he'd bandwagon on without thinking he didn't know everything. So the way they set this up, I think he was being manipulated.
That's
he's one of the most popular people in Destiny. And the thing is that when this lady started streaming, he was like, that was like the second or third group of people who jumped on his bandwagon, so to speak. And I was getting like uninterested by that point. And like this person, not a fan. A few others, not a fan. And I get where he would be open to believe people because he's married and has 2 daughters. I get that. But I think they manipulated him too.
I'm
gonna actually cut in and I agree with that, Kate, because this is actually one of those statements that actually Lono said. He was like, could be people out there that just got caught up in the waves of everything happening, and the way the story came out, there was so much going against one person that it automatically made people assume or believe or understand that he must have been this evil person. He must have been the evil queen. He must have been that evil tyrant.
Yeah.
Because the words, the wording, and how everything came at once. It was like a shotgun. All the pellets, all different accusations, all over Twitter. And Lupo, no offense, he is known as the Twitch poster boy. So when Lupo came out, that pretty much a lot of people will automatically believe that without question because he's done so much. So I agree with that. And I agree with that. Maybe there are going to be streamers, there are going to be content creators within the Destiny community, or even who know the situation and know these people, that are going to be persuaded by the dismissive fog of what is going on rather than the truth that has been manipulated.
Right.
So you're very right, Kate. You're very right. Anyone else? Or should we go on?
I guess in the end is that I think what Kate's saying is, I think Kate makes a really good point that I think a lot of people might just be might end up just being manipulated by all this.
Yep.
It's just I don't see. I may sound biased, but I just don't see anything truthful or anything pure in what Sarah Daniels' specific intentions are, especially with how she was wording everything.
It gets better, and I really want to get into this video. So are you guys ready, or do you have anything else?
No, go for it.
Because Nick looks excited. He's like he's reading a comic book. Nick looks kind of excited on the camera. We're going to get into this. And I'm trying to break with a little bit of humor, because if it gets too serious, it's going to bring down a lot of stuff, and I don't want anyone to feel down about this.
And another thing is, just to say again, I'm going to try to not be as... Do I sound biased?
No, you sound... You've never seen this before. How do you sound biased?
Okay.
Bias means you already know what's going on, and you already have a personal attachment to a situation. That's my point of view of that.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I prefaced that, because I'm wearing a King Gothelion hoodie. So I have a bias.
But that's why it all works, right? Because we have like 3 or 4 people who don't know anything, and we have other people who've already been through the first episodes of this cancel culture virus series. So it's both not only beneficial, but it's not twisting you guys into thinking we're trying to make you see something that's not there. That's what this whole story that's going on is telling us. in my opinion, before someone decides to go, bad demon.
Right.
Let's play.
His reputation was surgically, perhaps forever, ruined based on statements from years prior that had been handled between him and those involved under most circumstances, or even in the most severe case that I could find, investigated by a full legal team who determined that there was no actionable behavior to punish whatsoever, with the added detail that in some of those other scenarios, they had been handled amicably, where he immediately stated he was sorry for ever making anyone feel uncomfortable and stopped. Or situations where he simply said, "Want to come back to my hotel room?" and the person had a nervous breakdown. Here's the part where I need to make something very clear. Even if he had been officially banned from these conventions, I would not care. I am not a fan of his. I am not here to speak for his redemption. In fact, if he got banned from a convention for making people feel uncomfortable, fine, whatever. At a certain point, it just becomes a cost-benefit equation where the hosting party needs to weigh whether or not his participation or ability to attend at all is greater than the value for other creators that might not go if he does. Whatever they decide means nothing to me, because having there be punishments for someone who makes others feel uncomfortable is not something I'm going to pretend can't or shouldn't happen. That's up to the hosting company, purely up to them. We live in a corporate world, undeniably. Likewise, someone being banned from Twitch for their actions that make fellow broadcasters uncomfortable. Is it biased? Is it inconsistent to an extreme? Absolutely, but I'm not here to say far and wide that everything these companies did in response to the situation was unfair. Lano got hit by a massive PR bomb, and there was going to be casualties. But it wasn't nearly over at this point. He lost the majority of his sponsors, untold revenue, and his entire Twitch account was banned after the accusations reached critical mass. But still, if that's all that had happened, I would not have covered this. He began to stream and rebuild on YouTube, finding a measure of success at least, until mere days ago, his entire 7-year-old Destiny game account got developer banned. Now, remember Sarah Daniels, the one who focused...
Now, I am going to stop you here because I didn't do this last time. I'm going to stop sharing screen for a second because I'm going to try to bring up a video if I can find it, okay? Because it's something that I actually did. And I got to find it.
I think somebody's muted.
You guys...
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but if you guys want to give your thoughts so far, I'm going to try and find that video because it's very much related. One at a time, though.
Oh, man, this is. I just felt like I had this was just like a dumping of not information and maybe even misinformation. Just it seems like they need drama to be there. They need drama to be there. I still don't know what to make of these last few minutes. So,
that's a good point, though. They need the drama.
Yeah, they don't know who they are without it. It's become so ingrained in them that when you take that element out of them, they're at an identity crisis, as if they weren't already to begin with.
Yep.
Now, I want to show you guys something, and I want you guys to watch it because I was there the day this happened, and what this is directly related, and it hit me like the way a lot of things hit me when I can feel it on a personal level. So just watch this before anything else, and I want you guys to watch him, to watch his face.
I don't hear any audio.
Oh, crap.
I don't hear any audio. Sorry.
I messed up. Hold on. I messed up. I'm having one of those boomer moments, so just give me a second.
I'm so bored.
We needed a boomer moment, to be very fair. We needed it.
But can I say this, though? You can, even without the audio, you pay close attention to his emotion and his body language, and you can tell how frustrated he is right now at that time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There we go. Got it. Where I just put the video in here. Where the hell is it? Oh my god.
Where is it?
No.
Why did you say that name?
From everything I've seen, it looks like she wanted it, he had it, and I'm gonna get it any way I can get.
Yep. Exactly.
God, it's like they're kind of like a real life version of Hydra if you think about it. They operate in the shadows. They work their way to the top.
Over talking. Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get what you're going. So I just don't want everyone to get like verbal diarrhea.
You're making a good point, Nick.
No, it's just, it really is.
Yeah, essentially cut off one head and two more take its place.
Yeah, and like Hydra, they operate the way they do quietly, and they like a snake. They slowly take that bite at you, and they take your head straight to the top.
Mm-hmm. Like the Winter Soldier program, you can take down an entire country in just one night.
Yup.
All right, hopefully now I got it. I don't know why it was being a dink before, but I'm sorry about that.
And the Jack of all casuals says better. It's a real crabs in a bucket moment.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right.
To my normal streams, I'm not gonna do like the intro and tell you that there's timestamps below and a link to my.
Can you guys hear
upload
it?
Channel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Loud and clear.
So I have been really banned. I can pull up the game and show you. So I'm not faking you out here. I opened up Steam this morning. It said that I had been banned from Destiny 2 permanently, that it was not a VAC ban. It was a developer ban. Thank you, Storm White, for the membership. And I went to my email. I received no email. So I don't even know how to appeal it. I can log in to bungie.net. I can still see all my characters. I can see my 7-year-old account that I have. I've played this game since the beta.
Yeah, can we pause for a moment?
And
Okay. Clearly with the sample story, this guy realized that they set him up to a point where they made the story against him bulletproof and filled with shields, so that way he can have no line of defense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. To a degree, but I really want to play the rest of this first before you guys do this comments. I'm sorry, because you need to look at his body movement as well as his facial expression.
Can I say at least one thing before you hit the play button?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Gina Carano. This reminds me of Gina Carano because she got fired and she only learned about it via social media. They didn't even have the decency to even email her and let her know, tell her straight to the face that she was fired. I see the same situation with Rage. He got development banned, and they didn't even bother to tell him.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. But let's play the rest of this, please. I'm not gonna play the full thing, but I need you to just watch. Yeah,
got it.
I'm just really tired, man. I was feeling really good yesterday. I was feeling really good. Rode the bike and my blood pressure's been better, and I've been playing this game since the beta. And I decided that instead of trying to gloss over it and just move forward with some stupid stream, I didn't even do my intro. I called Creature. I was like, dude, what am I supposed to do? I just want to be left alone, you know? I have a family and I just want to play video games and talk with you guys. I know. I've seen your links, Noberto. I saw what you put in the Discord. That's a 3-month-old ban on that guy. I don't think they're just randomly dev banning people by accident. What am I supposed to do? I can't appeal it. They tell you to go to bungie.net/ban, and when I do that, there's nothing there. It's like I'm not banned, but I am banned. It's like I'm not banned. It's like I am banned, but I'm not. So here's the game. Here's the game. Not so fast. This account has been banned. For more information, please go to bungie.net ban. I don't have an email from Bungie. From the TOS, Bungie reserves the right in its sole discretion to terminate your access to any or all Bungie services and the related services or any portion thereof at any time without notice.
All right, I'm done with that. I'm going to unshare it now. But that happened the day of. I was there when it happened. And now, if you're looking at his eyes, you're looking at his shaking, it felt like his whole world just got hit again.
Exactly.
Yep.
I feel bad for him. His life. That's his life.
He was shooken, and you could tell just like, do you see like, and he was not just figuratively, but literally, you could see like he was like kind of like shaking, like because like I say, his world just got rocked, and now he doesn't know how to cope.
It was brutal. I even had to like stop watching for a moment because it hit me at the same time. Because when you're invest like 7 to 8 years into something, from the when it started till like let's say present, that's part of you at the same time. You've built yourself around, and just to have someone take it away and you can't even fight it.
And the shitty thing about it,
like sorry, T-shirt.
The shitty thing about it is, because their system allows for, banning with no notification on anything. It's kind of like they can just ban you at will for any reason they like. I mean, they can manufacture whatever reason they want to, and they don't have to tell you anything.
Yeah.
And I imagine Bungie's not the only company that does this. I'm sure there's other companies out there that do the same thing. And
That's why.
like,
sorry.
You have like no defense against this. You have no recourse and no appeals.
Yeah, they set him up so he couldn't have any way of defending himself. They set him up this way, and it worked. It worked in spades against him.
Yeah, that's why I brought up that this is a similar situation to what happened with Disney and Gina Carano.
It's the cancel culture is all the same. That's the problem. But
those are some parallels. However, this is like a business someone built up from literally nothing, and then it was just gone the next day. That's
just gone next day. And and I think that the thing that hurts the most is just you can see how helpless that he felt. Like they made it so that he has no way of coming back at this, no way of being able to clear his name or defend himself.
And the worst part about this to me is that this could happen to any of us who are gamers out there.
Mm-hmm. It could happen to anyone who owns a business.
It could happen to anybody, period.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that they oh man, they have this. It's a scary time. It's sad that the people who do these things, like these actions to a guy like him, these are also the people who have taken over at the top too. So that's why you don't have a chance of having an opportunity to defend yourself, clarify yourself, or explain your side of the story, because the people who at the top are these types. So it's not like, oh, there's already a bias right off the bat.
Yeah. All right. Are we good to get back into this, or does anyone else have anything to add?
Nope. I'm good.
Thank you.
focused repeatedly on his success as a primary factor, his verified badge, and his new brand deals in her initial statement, and further discussion of the topic. To refresh everyone's memory, here she is again.
We, for a few weeks, have been talking about this particular situation because recently he was partnered with Advanced GG, and our sweet Danielle is also with Advanced GG, and he recently got verified on Twitter, and we were kind of just seeing someone who had been handsy and harassed women, and that we've heard stories of in the community for so long, being like rising in power, being promoted, being, you know, put on a pedestal, essentially.
By whom, dear? By whom?
Can we stop, please?
Don't take my...
Can we stop that for a
That's
moment, please?
hilarious.
Wow, my
Hey,
blood
Like I
pressure
said
just went up.
before,
Wait,
hold
no.
on, guys, hold on a second. One at a time. Stop over talking, please. Everyone should be able to get to talk. I'm trying to say this nice. They said in the private chat.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Whoever was first, go ahead.
Her body language is very interesting. Besides the fake hair and lashes, which she probably wants everyone to believe is real, she just doesn't. She's beside herself. She doesn't understand why she doesn't feel good about getting what she wants. Because I guess at this point, she's theoretically has defeated their imaginary villain, and it's still not working for her.
They're never satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's really hard to. It's really almost impossible for me to be able to sympathize with Sarah Daniels because it's very malicious. She's trying to paint him as another Harvey Weinstein when that wasn't even the case. Or he's trying to paint him as the things he was doing was equivalent to what Harvey Weinstein was doing. And that's just malicious and just downright evil. And it looks like she's, and I don't know about you guys, but it looks like she's smiling about it.
She is.
Or she's smirking about it. And I can understand why that makes I don't know if it was Geek Time who said it made his blood boil. Like, yeah, this is disgusting behavior.
You can sum it up like this. It's pretty much the Mr. Byrne excellent. That's exactly what she's sitting like. And she's not affected. This is supposed to be a serious thing, and it not. Gary, did you have something to say, or are you just waving? And he's gone again. He'll be back. Good morning, Mags. All right, we're gonna get back into it when Gary appears, but okay, I'll get back to it.
This is really like a tough topic to go into with a lot of people and not want to just speak out immediately because it's
I just
like,
want to make sure. Yeah, sorry.
I know, and what I'm trying to say is, it's just like the emotional intensity is ramped up so high for all of us because we can all relate to this in one way or another. Because that could easily be us sitting over there on the other side of that screen getting canceled.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't trying to be rude either. I was just making sure that everyone got a chance to speak, and it wasn't trying to be all crazy. So that wasn't my intention. My apologies.
You're good, dude.
You're good. It's just.
Are you okay, Gary? I wasn't trying to be rude or anything.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just sending you a message.
Okay.
And when I came back from the message, it dropped me out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was like parliamentary rules rather. Okay.
Yeah, it's my position is this: you have a panel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the panel don't know when they're supposed to talk.
Oh, okay.
So parliamentary rule is you simply tell the person that you want to hear from, do you have an opinion on this?
Okay.
Do you have an opinion on this? Rather than keep putting it on them like they're being a jackass for talking over each other that they don't know.
No, I'm not trying to make them look like jackasses. That's my fault. I'm still new to this. I'm not very NPR.
No, I know. I was trying to help you.
All right, thank you. So,
right, and I'm sorry. It's just, I guess.
Jesus Christ, we
it's
just talked about this.
It's me. I guess maybe because it's just there are moments where I'm just, and I'm like the other streamers where I just get too excited, or I just get too excited where I just want to say something.
That's
Well,
part
it's
of
okay because that's what this stuff does. It really does. Watching this girl say the things she just said absolutely should infuriate any logical thinking human being.
Exactly.
Oh, I imagine our people in the audience who are watching this, when they're typing their messages, there's some hard keys getting hit right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like focusing on this, and I'm not trying to make it less of a thing. Is to show that this thing is a virus. You're trying to kill a person to the soul, their family. You're trying to hurt them just for popularity.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, what they do, though, these people, and what really infuriates me is they destroy the opportunity for when a real situation comes to take hold, because it causes us to immediately doubt.
And I hate to bring this up. I really don't want to bring this up because I feel like that might be the best time to bring it up.
I'm kidding.
No, it's just
I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up.
This is. I feel like the intentions. This is too much of that whole Zoe Quinn, Alec Holoka situation.
You got to be careful with the names.
I know. I'm sorry.
You really got to be careful because I have to go through this now.
This is just like that situation with that one person that we won't name and that other person we won't name.
But
okay, just call them all Voldemort. Just call them all Voldemort.
It's just that but it's just like that. If you know what I'm talking about, it's just like that.
It is.
It's just the good thing is that you know, Rage, he's got a strong backbone, and he's not gonna let them push him over to the edge like that.
All right, hold on a second. I want to highlight Neon. So I've been following Lono, Say No to Rage, since he started, and this is such disgusting tragedy. This conversation needs to happen. I posted a link to this, and hopefully more can see it. Thank you, Neon. I have been following him since he was on the Purple platform. So yeah, I've seen him, and I've seen him grow. Do you guys want me to continue?
Yeah.
All right. Or Voldemort kills me.
Fine with you.
All right. That face. Does that look like, I'm emotionally scarred? I'm getting his popularity smile.
Female Red Skull.
This is all about her right now.
Oh, I feel like she belongs building a dam in a Canadian river. I'm sorry. I'm going to make one bad joke. I'm sorry.
No, that was perfect.
So it was really the advanced GG partnership that sparked us talking about, okay, well, how do we what do we do,
Incredibly, there are tons of these moments with identical phraseology. Her framing is always about his success, and she consistently references groups where this was being discussed for weeks in advance.
I'm saying it, and here it is, and it was him. And I mean, I was like, and I was talking to I was talking to Lupo at the time, and we were trying to figure out what the to do, and so Jules tweeted that, and I was like, all right, I'm up. I have to back her up, because the more people that start saying stuff, the more serious stories are going to come out. And even though I feel like I don't have a place by just being like, he was creepy, he cornered, he just said a little too much about sex, whatever, I felt really fucking weird about saying anything, and I was like, it, I'm doing it.
Can we pause?
I said my piece,
Can we please pause for a moment?
Cornered and creepy.
Do you notice her expressions on her face?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Those are the kind of expressions that make you want to cuss her out. Straight up.
I am not highlighting that, Ezekiel. As funny as that is, I'm not highlighting that.
But I'm serious. Directly, those that's the kind of expressions that will make your blood boil. And it will make you want to cuss her out. And it's just disgusting.
All right.
Yeah,
Now,
there's a few things I wanted to say about
The
it.
whole
but-
smiling and laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, T-shirt.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's like there's a lot of things I would love to say about her right now at this point, but yeah, we'll get totally banned if I do. So I'm just gonna keep it PG.
Think of it this way.
Let the chat do it.
It's that
Yeah.
too, but I also want you to remember that there's people from the community that, in general, that will watch this, and I don't want to tarnish what I'm trying to do of bringing eyes on this. So remember that in the back of your mind, please.
I know.
And I'm saying that to everyone, just in general. Like, you always got to remember there's always someone else watching the people watching the content.
Right.
Even I can be civil when I want to.
Oh my god. Let's get back into it.
Etc. And then Lupo retweeted my tweet and tagged the person.
She even directly states that there was a discussion with Dr. Lupo. Her verbiage contains things like, I'm up, and continues on to say that more people need to say things. So even though her story is insignificant, even though she stated previously, he didn't touch me, he was just creepy like half the island of Manhattan, paraphrasing.
It's like, well, why didn't you report it to the police? I'm like, I can't report. Someone made me uncomfortable. I'm going to report it to the police. Like, I have to report the entire island of Manhattan.
She still piled on board a mere 7 minutes after the initial tweet, 2 minutes after She Snaps had apparently run something by a lawyer and already posted, which kicked the whole thing off. But that wasn't even the point, because Sarah Daniels, probably speaking to him directly during one of the clips that we just played, is married to a Bungie developer. Now, circling back to Destiny, Say No to Rage was developer banned with no appeal and no explanation or email. And Sarah Daniels' Bungie developer husband tweeted this image 15 minutes after the ban. Not even done. Soon after the ban, as Say No to Rage was attempting to switch his content, an image of him looking at the Outriders logo circulated on Twitter, where users were flat out advocating that people mass report to the Outriders community managers and do everything.
All right, I'm going to stop quick. It looks like Gary.
That's criminal.
Sorry.
Guys, let's do it. Let's go at the top. Kate, do you have anything first to add?
Okay, I understand that suing small fries isn't the way to go, but suing someone personally for possibly having done that, isn't that an option? I'm completely ignorant about how that stuff works, but that's a serious question.
I think he's looked at it, Kate, but I think it's the funding and whether or not it's worth the time. It would probably cost him more to make.
So even if it is like a personal suit, but that's interesting, because if that's still the case, that he's better off not doing it because he's just more well off than they are, even still, that's kind of a win.
Oops, sorry, but that was me dropping some things. But what I also want you guys all to remember right now before I go down the list. This thing where he just mentioned with the Bungie dev and Sarah Daniels, keep that in the back of your mind when we get to the next video. Okay, everyone, just keep that. I don't write in the private chat if you want to remember, but just keep it in the back of your mind because this is related. Explorer, you haven't talked much. What are your feelings?
Oh my god. So I haven't talked much because I play games a lot. Like I love video games. So and I watch people like Twitch people. So I've just been taking it all in, my thoughts. And after this part right here, it's upsetting because that happens, and that she's married to this person that has this much power, and they can just ban it whoever you want, whenever you want, without any explanation. And it's just frustrating that this man's life is ruined because of nothing, really, just because she wanted what he had. And it's just really, like, it's really upsetting to me.
Yeah,
it's a good answer. Take your time.
I can't. Some of, like you said before, some of the things I don't want to say because I want this to be, I don't want to ruin the thing you're doing about it by just going off like crazy. And I don't. So that's all I can say right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer, man. And I know that you've popped up on my stream, and I do game a lot too, so I get it. And you know about investment in the game, especially when people play like things like World of Warcraft or Ark and having like your whole base destroyed. This is like having your whole base destroyed permanently.
Yeah.
Mackie, do you have anything to add again?
No, yeah, it's just first off, I want to apologize. Sorry if you heard me just sighing when we saw that tweet, him saying that he was banned after he was perma banned. The lawyer or the developer, sorry, posted that tweet saying bye bye. I want to apologize if you heard me sighing at that, because that was.
Oh, we just thought you were taking a crap.
No, it's just that was infuriating. That was honestly just.
I think we all had the same reaction to it.
Gary was stuck in permanent O face. If you were actually looking when we were doing that, you can watch the replay. But
it's hard to put into words, honestly. And we've seen this, before. Yeah, and we've seen this before. It's just, this is just disgusting behavior. At this point, the whatever accusations, it just doesn't matter at this point. This is very cool.
Mackie, what you just said, it doesn't matter anymore. That's exactly how these people are perpetrating this whole narrative. It doesn't matter. Yep. He doesn't matter to them. His life doesn't matter. What he's done doesn't matter to them, because they just want it. They want it gone. They want to be that center of attention. This is what it's coming down to. This is like the kid who tries to beat you up because you have a snack pack. It's the same type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
It does. And just seeing that tweet he made, I'm just like, that is disgusting. Say if I was somebody, if I had an interest in wanting to play Destiny and I saw something like this and I stepped on this video, I would not want to be a part of it. I would not want to be a part of that, community, because it's just unsettling to look at.
All right. Yeah. All right. T-shirt, you're up, brother.
Well, first off, oh man, that's a lot of stuff to unpack there. But yeah, the fact that they are pretty much chasing this guy down and continuing to try to go after him, even though he is trying to make the moves and trying to get on with him, with his life and everything else. It's like there is no forgiveness, and yet there was no crime, or the crime did not warrant this level of response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good one. And now we're on to Nick while he's reading Children of the Atom.
Okay, so remember earlier when I said that the same loonies who are out to get them witch hunt style are the same ones who are at the top? I was right. They are the same people who are at the top. Now that we see her connection and the whole bye-bye, they are connected with those who are at the top. These type of personalities have taken over, whether it's on the lower level or on the higher level. They have taken over, and that's why I was right. I swear I did not see this video or knew anything about going on. The fact that I was just right about all that just is kind of weird. But man, it's still scary to see, even though I was right and I predicted all that.
Mm-hmm. And then we're on to Gary.
Well, I mean, this is so fucking so high school.
Oh, I'm tired.
There's this whole clique thing, and this is what this is. It's clique bullying. If you guys remember what cliques are.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like cheerleaders and jocks. It's like cheerleaders and jocks. Yeah,
that's what this is. This is this cancel culture group is it's a clique, and they've decided that they want him out because he's not their type, and they're going to go about it any way they can or want to, and they're doing it free reign. What's unbelievable to me is that nobody knew her association with Bungie during this whole thing. Are you kidding me? Someone had to know that. And they conveniently left it out. It's like, you cannot that's like political corruption. It's the same equivalent, but in the private sector.
They've made it all political.
It's so crazy that's why I had that giant O face going, oh my God, this is the first I've heard that she's involved with the guy at Bungie who's a senior official of some sort, officer of some kind. in the company, and then he posts that afterward, right after it happened. It's like, come on, an investigation needs to be done here, and that guy should be
It was
fired.
15 minutes before. That bye-bye
Before-
Nokia phone was
even
15
worse.
minutes before. Yeah.
Even worse. So yeah, that guy needs to be investigated and fired for what he's done. I'm not a cancel person, but that's unethical.
It is unethical. Now, before we go back into playing Historian, you had something to add.
Yeah. A lot of your audience is picking up on the same thing that I am, and that is that this kind of behavior actually is stopping people from wanting to engage, from wanting to post, from wanting to interact, from wanting to get involved with any of these platforms like Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, to show off what they can do or what they want to do, for fear that they will cross somebody the wrong way, or they will have basically conspiracy level banning put upon them for what they want to do.
So,
this is the stuff that makes me second guess doing my channel, because my worry is I'm going to run across somebody who is either deceitful, hateful, jealous, or whatever, and is going to want to take me down for what I have or for my success, or just straight up doesn't like me.
But
and it's a game to them.
But T-shirt, do you want to know the difference between you and Lano is?
I'm nobody.
No, don't say that. You have people like Gary and other people who have started to get to know you, to talk to you. You have people there, and they will back you up because they know you as a person, and they're getting to know you as a person. Lano went in doing this solo, so the people he has hung out with for years and got to know through the Twitch communities and all that stuff, he thought they were friends, probably. He thought they were good people. And at the same time, the same people who thought they were friends and allies also got manipulated by the way the lie was distributed, or the narrative was distributed. And the one thing they want, this is the way I look at it. This is like gatekeeping on an emotional threatening level. They're willing to destroy your life. You don't give up on that. That's the same thing Gina Carano taught us. We don't bend the knee because someone wants to say something that isn't true.
Yep.
So why would we do this here? Nobody should give up because someone wants to be a monster to make another person look like a monster. I refuse to believe we should give up on that. Nobody should believe in that.
Well, if I can go on.
I have your back. Sorry.
If I can go on. The thing is, what I see the future having is they're going to cancel enough people if they continue to get their way to where nobody is going to want to get involved with any of these things. And they're going to find their own subscriptions and viewerships are going to start dying and dropping off because, let's face it, when you have mediocre people at the top, nobody wants to watch you.
And then they're going to eat each other. That's the next. That's when they start to eat each other because they realize they canceled all the ones who they deemed problematic. And like a play-by-play, they're going to go after each other because that's what they do when they realize they've run out of everyone to cancel. They're going to go for each other next. And before you know it, that could be the end of Bungie, really. I mean, I hate saying this. I'm not a Bungie player, but some of these businesses are going to need to fall in order to learn from this. Some of these aren't going to need to fall.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, absolutely.
Can we get?
I agree partially.
Okay. Can we get back to Can we get back into the last 4 minutes before we get to the next video?
Yes,
sir.
Sure.
Awesome. You guys are doing amazing, and thank you.
Everything possible to make sure that they, quote, know of his predatory past that led to bans from Twitch and Destiny, end quote. Effectively, they are trying to kill his entire chance at making a living in the current game that he plays, successfully, I might add, at this point, and actively seeking out any future games he might even try in order to kill his future and his livelihood forever. When I began looking at all this, during the time I began researching this chain of events, the Bungie developer husband of Sarah Daniels blocked me on social media. I am preemptively, without ever having spoken to any of them, blocked by a large number of the people involved in this story. And looking at these events in context, I have one simple question to ask. Does Say No to Rage, Lano, deserve to have his entire business and financial future in this industry ruined completely because he creepily flirted a few times, and when they asked him to stop, he stopped? Is it okay to brutally, constantly harass someone because you think they harassed others for a brief period multiple years ago and have since improved dramatically? Even Sarah Daniels herself expressed, quote, "I've said clearly and so many times I felt weird about saying anything simply because he was totally fine at the last 2 events. Perfectly nice, and I had 0 issues," end quote. Is her husband involved? The one tweeting bye-bye after Say No to Rage is developer banned with no explanation from a game in which he did not violate the terms of service in any noticeable fashion, years after any of these events actually transpired? Is any of this okay? You can think he's a creep. He was certainly inappropriate at that time when one considers the fact that he was married with a family, but what is the price for asking a woman, would you like to go someplace quieter? What is the price for getting too high and making someone feel uncomfortable with your nearly incoherent words and you rubbing your own legs? What is the price for making sexual jokes and when asked to stop, respectfully and immediately abiding by those wishes? And lastly, how long should that price be paid? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, forever? Should it be the death of a career, no future prospects, throw him in a gulag? Where does stuff like this end? And how on earth did we end up here? In closing, I don't even enjoy his content, but watching what has happened to this man for the better part of a year is frankly shocking. No one is willing to speak up because if you do, especially if you exist in the Destiny community, you get crushed by larger personalities and streamers. They have banded together to make sure that no one goes against their narrative. Well, I'm not in the Destiny community, thank God. I'm not a part of that world, and unless there's some seriously more intense allegations out there with proof, I cannot comprehend how it is justified to take this man's entire life through which he supports a family, an innocent, unconnected family when considering all of these events, and burn it to the ground with salted earth to prevent anything from ever growing again, and fence him in to make sure he can never move to another game. It's disgusting. That's it. If you want support, please consider checking out Odyssey, linked down below. It's a YouTube platform alternative, diversifies my options, and it's very rewarding for its creators. Also, Locals, for $5 a month, you can access ad-free versions of all the videos and also the audio podcast versions. There's another YouTuber to check out, merch, social media, etc., etc. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night. Oh, and if the Destiny community does try to bring their band over here and brigade me and attack me with everything they have, bring it the fuck on, okay? I don't care. You're really not going to be able to do shit to me. And if you are, I have other things in the pipeline. Like, seriously, I'm not one of the people that you can just shut down because I'm obsessed with the Twitch Destiny directory and blah, blah, blah. Like, get out of here.
Okay, I will load up the next video. Yeah, that's the first one.
Historian, go.
Okay. A lot of this... where to start on this? Okay. A few years back, or a year or two back, Blizzard had a similar situation. I'm not going to name the player's name, where they also banned him for 6 months, and they were going to do it for life or a year and all these other things. They vacillated on what their eventual outcome was several times, but they banned that player for his comment on a stream. And, you know, a lot of the community took umbrage with that. And, you know, a lot of us, we went ahead and canceled our subscriptions to Blizzard and stopped playing their games for 6 months, you know, as a show of solidarity for that ban, that 6-month period ban. I was one of these people who also closed down my account for the 6 months. But the thing is, first off, the developer set the precedent in this case by doing that to a player, which was really bad form to begin with. They shut down a player for a comment. And that has, I think, in some way pushed these other cancel culture people to think that, oh, look, they support this on some level, or it's okay to do this on some level. So let's do it too. Which I think that was a horrible thing for Blizzard to do. And the other part of that too is the fact that, you know, the 6 months off of Blizzard, 6 months is over, and now I'm just kind of like, you know, I really didn't miss any of those games. I find that, you know, okay, I didn't play those games for 6 months. I saved myself a bunch of money, and honestly, I don't miss them. So in effect, Blizzard kind of screwed themselves over by doing that.
Well, that kind of echoes back to what was said earlier about some of these companies need to collapse, fall from this stupidity.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Next.
Okay. So I'll go. You know, it's funny because they keep saying the creepy things that he says, but we don't know what exactly were that they were said. Because I mean, yes, he's married, has kids. Should he be flirting with women? In my opinion, no. But they're saying it. But it's just like, what exactly is being said? Is he just saying hello, and then they're calling that being creepy and flirting? What exactly is being said that makes it creepy and flirty? Because once again, the interpretation of flirting being creepy, you can ask 10 of these feminist gamers, and they will all have a different answer on if they're being nice, they're just being nice to, or if they're being flirty. None of them are going to have a consistent answer. There's still nothing there, like receipt wise. So it's just like, I don't even think he probably actually said anything creepy to begin with. I'm like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe he said something slightly off. Maybe he did. But right now, the more information has come out, it sounds like he said nothing creepy at all, and he probably actually did nothing wrong. They need to find a way and a reason, and they need to create a point A to get to a point B, and it worked.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can I add on something there?
Yeah.
Basically, it's only creepy because it's not coming from the person that they're attracted to. That's really what it boils down to. If it was a person that they were interested in, it wouldn't be creepy.
That is a good point.
How would someone not think he's attractive, though? Because he's really attractive.
Yeah, he's kind of a cutie patootie.
I would definitely drop my pants for him.
I think he's adorable.
Lano, I'm
he
single.
makes me want to give up cheesecake.
I hate you, Steven.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
I mean, that's a fair point, but I just don't think that's it's what's going on. I think they were just malicious because they weren't at a level that they felt they were entitled to be at.
I can agree.
And Kate, what do you think about this? What if he's in a polyamorous relationship?
Well, that's their business.
Yeah, but that's what he's being judged on by a lot of people.
Right.
They don't know what his.
I don't think that's his relationship with his wife.
They don't know that.
They don't.
That's my point.
And yeah, okay, I see. Well, then they're also hypocrites, because if these people are queer and whatever else they want to slap on their forehead, then they aren't actually open to someone who is legitimately that. And
exactly.
That's funny, because they just want all the attention. At the end of the day, these people are attention whores.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense. I'll let you go real quick, Mac. Hold on. The thing is that the missing thing we're looking at, and they've said it numerous times. He was verified on Twitter. He just got partnered with G&G. He's always on the top of the Twitch Destiny directory. That doesn't sound like things that would cause trauma if he was making you feel weirded out, creepy, or uncomfortable. That sounds like you are being seen more by people than I am.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bigger display case. Why can't I have a display case?
Amen, Steven. Let's get on with this video, buddy.
Hold on, Mac, I have one more thing before we go.
Okay.
I was going to say something, but I realized to turn my mic off. To parrot what T-Shirt was saying earlier before the end of the video is that the thing is, it's got me thinking, because, as we're talking about this, I'm currently in the back. I'm just getting some art done, and I'm doing, what Fat Steven suggested, which is going to be do a series of work based on Fortnite and such. And it definitely, what T-Shirt was saying, had me thinking of just like, this can happen to anyone. This can happen to me. What happens if what I do does get trending? What happens if I become the target of somebody's radar? Do I want to do this if it means it's going to have that kind of baggage? If there's going to be a painted target on my back for doing this? And it does have me thinking, and it's just like, and then I think about what Fastine was saying. It's just like, no, you got a great support group. You got people who are gonna want to see what you do. Damn, anybody that's gonna try to hate on you or try to cancel you or whatever, I think you should be able to be comfortable doing the things you want to do and not having to worry about, if you're going to be in the crosshairs or something like that, especially if you're a big name or stuff like that. And it's just, and at the same time, I'm thinking about, you should still be able to support who you want to support and still be able to be a part of the community and such, and still, say how you feel about the community, because it's just, yeah, there you go. That's what I want to say.
Okay, Nick, you had something else?
Yeah, I just want to add to his comment. I mean, I get where he's coming from. It's a tough spot to be in, and I can't say I blame someone for not wanting to get involved with this gaming, but we do gotta remember, like, it's a tough. I don't feel like there's a universal answer that's right. I mean, if you feel brave enough to want to play the games, you should do it anyway, because you gotta remember, at the end of the day, they want us gone, and they fear us responding. They fear us having a backbone. So the fact that for me, if I was a big gamer, I wouldn't let them get to me. I'd say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna game anyway, because I know you want me gone, and I'm not gonna back down. That's exactly what they wanted. They want us to have this fear, and if we give them that fear, whether we're letting them win.
Right.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Hey, can I add one last thing? Because it was just said in the chat. Lasso said it, is that really the marriage thing and him being married is a smokescreen. Really, it's all about the jealousy and wanting him toppled from the top.
Yep.
Thank you, Lasso.
Yeah, the chat's been great. The panel, you guys have been great. Are you guys ready for the second part now?
Yeah,
Hail to the best chat on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Someone's belly sounds like a car. Wait. Hold on. And Explorer, do you have anything to add, or are you still kind of in a silent shock because you haven't said much?
I am in a shock and just not shocked. Well, not really shocked, honestly, because it happens. It happens all the time, and that's why I don't put my gamer tag or face out there, because things like this, I don't want people to know who I am, because if I say one wrong thing, that's it. You're over. You stop them from playing. You stopped him from playing Destiny. Now you want to stop him from playing Outriders. And then if he goes to another game, you're going to stop that game. It's like, when is enough enough? Like, you got rid of him off Destiny. That's where you are on Destiny. He's not there anymore. He's not bothering you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're never, ever, ever satisfied. And it's only a matter of time until they start eating each other.
And you said, like, maybe some of the companies just need to go away.
Yep.
Let it all go away. And when they're finally gone, they don't know what to do. Then we'll take it back and fix it. And that's the only thing I can think of right now. So
it's cool, man. It's a little bit still a lot, man. You're good. It's all right. I'm not trying to put you on the spot either.
No, you're good. So yeah, that's all I got.
Let's get into Upper Echelon's a connected video to this and the humoristic parts attached to it.
Today is about a W, a massive W. Today is about entertainment, honestly, because today we are discussing the great Bungie lawyer that decided to attack my channel and failed in the most hilarious way imaginable. He failed so hard, I didn't even know it was possible. And for all my gripes and complaints with YouTube, they basically stepped in for the mother of all clapbacks, ensuring that this exchange will go down in my channel's history as the most definitive and satisfying victory yet. Before diving further into this great adventure of bizarre incompetence, a word from today's video sponsor, Honeygain. So what is Honeygain? Short answer, it's an app that allows for your internet connection to be used to collect small bits of data online. The biggest applications are price comparisons. The prices in your geographic region might be far different than somewhere else. Search engine optimization and
I'm
visibility
letting the
metrics,
ad
as well
play
as
because it
advertising
is technically
verification
his
or
video,
brand
and
safety.
so at least it's getting
pretty
his
simple.
promotion
Sign
on
up,
their side.
install the app using the link down below on whatever devices you want. It works for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and Android currently. It is not available on iPhones at this time. And let the app gather small bits of info using your internet connection. It does not access your private data, merely the analytics generated through its own searches, which utilize your internet link. This means that you can leave the app running to passively generate income. There's a referral program, and you can easily earn enough money to cover Netflix subscriptions, Spotify, etc., etc. It's not going to replace a full-time job. Reasonable expectations here are the key, but it is passive income that will increase based on how many devices you have. You can use the upper echelon promo code, UEG, or click the link down below to sign up and start earning on all your devices. Big thank you to Honeygain for sponsoring the channel. Let's begin by establishing context. About 3 weeks ago, I created a video titled The Say No to Rage Conspiracy. This video, linked down below on 2 separate video hosting platforms, YouTube and Odyssey, discussed a rather concerning situation where a Destiny 2 streamer, Say No to Rage is his name, was targeted by a coordinated push to retell stories from multiple years prior, stories about events that had been handled and solved in those previous years, even going so far as to have a legal team investigate the most serious claim, finding no evidence of wrongdoing. These stories all had a very similar thread. He made me feel uncomfortable, and these stories were synchronized to within minutes of each other, with other large social media influencers signal boosting the claims to the widest audience possible. It even got on global trending at one point. The result was that the stories from as far back as 2016 were retold after being previously handled, maximizing their damage, synchronized, by bombarding him from all angles. The results were swift and as of yet remain unchanged. His Twitch account was banned, his Destiny account was then banned as well, his sponsors dropped him, his life kind of fell apart, and one of the most popular Destiny 2 streamers on all of Twitch, on all of the internet for that fact, was removed from the equation. As I said before, there is extensive detail in my previous video on who coordinated, how they coordinated, the rhetoric that they used, most importantly, the verbatim quotes from their statements, the contradictions, the discrepancies, and so much more. Some of their claims are verified as false. Eyewitness testimony contradicts what they said on numerous separate occasions. There are personal ties between one of the accusers and Bungie itself, making the more recent sanctions against Say No to Rage even more suspect because his Destiny account was developer banned with no appeal. And the overarching theme here, generally speaking, is that a man was brigaded into the dirt, and that brigading mob hasn't stopped for over a year. So where does the bratty lawyer come in? Bungie lawyer come in? Well, during all of these original events where Say No to Rage was initially canceled, one of the accusers, the ones synchronizing posts, openly talks about weeks of coordinated discussions in the lead up to that final push, and frequently talked about her beggar lawyer. Sorry again. I don't know what's up with me today, okay? I apologize. My words are all messed up. Her Bungie lawyer. This person, Sarah Daniels, is married to a Bungie developer and would often posture intensely regarding her legal team's efficacy, prowess, and skill. One such example, for context, can be heard now with regards to the, quote, Bungie corporate attorneys.
No lawyer would take his case. I mean, like, when we sent everything to our attorneys, they were like, don't worry about it. They're like, you don't have to worry about it. Nothing's gonna happen. That was literally, like, they did not care. Like, the Bungie corporate attorneys were like, you're fine. Just go on with your life.
Now, it would appear that Sarah Daniels...
Before I get him to speak again, that sounded pretty goddamn pretentious, didn't it?
Yes, it sounded fake as, you know.
Yeah. Do you feel like she thinks, does it sound like she sounds safe and protected, that she has nothing to worry about, even though she, it sounds
she's
like
untouchable.
she knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's scoffing at it like she knew that's how it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Daniels, likely facilitated by her husband, has been utilizing the Bungie corporate legal team, and that her unassailable position was protected by a squad of slate black on black suited up legal defenders. Sounds scary, right? Better not challenge her, right? Well, I had plenty of brain cells to kill, so I figured why not? In my video, I utilized a series of clips from Sarah Daniels' public livestream broadcasts for the purpose of quotation, commentary, analysis, and explanation, while highlighting specific things that she said which called into question the claims that this was not some kind of coordinated quasi-moral hit job against a direct and metrically superior, at the time, competing streamer. Well, she didn't like that. Her husband definitely didn't like that, and ultimately her bratty lawyer, what's up with me? What? Seriously, okay. Her highly respectable Bungie lawyer didn't like that either. About 3 weeks after the video had gone live, about 2 weeks after it had gotten roughly 90% of its inevitable viewership, likely to fade into the obscurity of archived YouTube uploads on contemporary topics that never really regain any public attention whatsoever, a completely logical and highly intelligent lawyer from Bitwise Legal filed a copyright strike against the video. This copyright strike gave me no warning and removed the video immediately. Well, YouTube may have a myriad of different flaws, but their system has been through nearly a decade of iterative design changes after creators complain, time and time again, about how easy it is to abuse their system. So, despite the fact that I was not given any warning on this at all, I was given the timestamps of what was targeted and what it was taken down for, as well as the name of the claiming party, Bitwise Legal. It turns out there was a 3-minute segment in my video, the clips of Sarah Daniels' livestream, that resulted in the claim, and it also turned out that Bitwise Legal is a boutique law firm serving a number of different clients, including, go figure, Bungie. Bitwise Legal also has a partner named Michael Schneider, founder of Hivebrain, who continues to practice law at the boutique firm. Furthermore, on Twitter, even tweets beneath my own post, which reference the publicly displayed location of Bitwise Legal from their own website, drawing connection to that location and the location of possible hiring parties when all the speculation was initially churning, got struck down. They were quite literally reading and watching this thread after striking down the video while further striking people calling them out. Well, Michael obviously thought that it was completely necessary to take down the video, so with that, my battle with the highly respectable and inevitably terrifying Bungholio lawyer began. What followed was a truly horrifying, brutal, epic legal exchange that will be chronicled in history for all time. It was like Thermopylae and the 300 Spartans as they staved off the Persian hordes to save all of Greece. It was like Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon and the ensuing Roman Civil War in its entirety. Better yet, it was like Goku versus Frieza after Goku's initial transformation. Just kidding.
I am going to pause right there before he goes into his seriousness. But any thoughts on why Bungie lawyer, or in Echelon's case, the Bungholio lawyer, apologies, would strike down a video covering this if it's unbiased? You go ahead.
I think it's because it showed that someone high up in Bungie did something really wrong. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that he showed that she's married to someone really high up in Bungie, and then he did that tweet that said bye-bye, and then he's gone.
For me, I think it came across more of as a CYA, cover your butt move.
But yeah, that's what I think.
Anyone else?
Nothing. Not for now, at least.
Pretty much what they guys... Nothing for now. Pretty much everything that you guys just said.
All right.
It was fucking pathetic. The strike took down my video for all of 24 hours. In that time frame, the discussion surrounding the strike was viewed hundreds of thousands of times. Other creators got involved and discussed the events. Thank you to them for that, by the way. I was contacted by hundreds of people pledging financial support and even multiple lawyers offering their services, one of them pro bono, in order to preserve the integrity of fair use law. And honestly, for me, it was heartwarming and very beneficial. I'd like to take a moment and look at some seemingly unrelated events here that are actually crucial to our understanding of how this legal battle with a bumblefuck lawyer was nothing short of hilarious. First is the Streisand effect. The Streisand effect, named after, obviously, Barbra Streisand, was coined in 2003 when her attempt at hiding a photograph of her home from California state records backfired so dramatically it nearly increased the number of people who eventually saw the image. The Streisand effect became known as a social phenomenon whereby attempts to suppress information has the unintended, albeit completely obvious effect of spreading it even further. And when a video has gained something like 90 to 95% of its eventual viewership already, enacting a spurious copyright takedown request which results in further videos being made by other creators with a separate audience, as well as thousands and thousands of social media engagements, interactions, reposts, etc. on other platforms discussing the issue. Well, One might call that the Streisand effect. Now, keep in mind that the Streisand effect in this particular case is exceptionally beneficial for me. I get new viewers, new accounts that will be served my videos in the algorithmic feed. I got hundreds of other social media followers, hundreds of YouTube subscribers, hundreds of dollars, many hundreds of dollars from a pretty large number of people, and it's all still happening. I get free content, free media exposure, free marketing, free reshares, all of it, and so much more. The video itself gets views on alternative platforms. I get viewership on my other videos after people peruse the channel, and it becomes a spectacle that not only pulls an older piece of content that was largely irrelevant at that time back into the spotlight, but sequentially benefits me every single step of the way afterwards. Overall, the Streisand effect came into play here, to the detriment of this Binky lawyer, and to the benefit of me and my channel. But we're not done. The second thing to know is that we do, in fact, have case law here. I would expect a revered and highly skilled butthole lawyer. I just can't help my words today, guys. How incredibly unprofessional of me. Bungie lawyer to know that, but for those that don't know, there is case law defining fair use on YouTube. Primarily, fair use will revolve often around 4 pillars, including, quote, the purpose and character of your use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and substantiality of the portion taken, and the effect of the use upon the potential market, end quote. I'll spare everyone the full breakdown of why and how my own video very, very clearly falls under a subset of content that conforms easily to fair use, but in terms of case law, there were 2 pertinent scenarios here. Number 1, the case of H3H3, Ethan Klein, and Matt Hosenzadeh, in which content punctuated by clips of the other creator won in court as fair use. Number 2, the case of Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, versus Akilah Hughes, in which Benjamin rearranged clips of Hughes' content from her YouTube videos and live streams for the purpose of a transformative comedic upload. The court ruled in favor of Benjamin, despite the fact that he added no additional analysis, explanation, context, or material of any kind, and merely rearranged Hughes' own content into something that could be considered different and transformative. These 2 case law examples should already begin to clarify that a 23-minute video, complete with dozens of separate sources, screenshots for context, analytical breakdowns, and live stream clips for quotation and point case proof, is likely going to be fair use, when the sum total of that content is a completely new, entirely unique narrative, which will wholly and completely transcend any one of its individual parts, while not serving as some sort of replacement for the sections of unique copyrighted content used. Well, it seems like YouTube thought so too, because in direct public reply to my tweet about the strike, they posted the following, quote, thanks for your patience, confirming that the video has been restored unless you've deleted it. We've determined that the copyright takedown request we received for this URL was invalid. Your copyright strike has also been resolved, end quote. That seems good, right? Absolutely, but hang on here, because what a lot of people don't know is that YouTube is not ever, by law, the arbiter in these situations. YouTube is required, as per governmental regulation, to adhere to any and all valid DMCA requests, regardless of who submits them or who they target. Many people seem to have a long-standing misguided assumption about this process, where they view YouTube to be making judgmental validation decisions on what is or is not fair use, but that's not actually the case.
I'm going to pause it because I want to actually add to that. That's actually true. A lot of us do have misconceptions when it comes to YouTube, especially the copyright and DMCA system. Sometimes we all get a little persuaded that we think they're being vindictive or the algorithm has like the coup, but it's actually they have to legally take down on those requests. That's messed up, but it's I guess by law.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, you see the powers at play here, and you see that every time when they have these guidelines and these rules, the minute the rules backfire against them, they change the rules so that they don't lose from it. It's just endless changing the rules so we win. So that way they can always come out on top. This is insane to see them not being regulated because they need it. All these companies do, because look at what it's become now. We have problems everywhere with this stuff, especially with these rules that are not always really clear.
Those rules are regulations, so that's not going to help anything. More is not going to help.
It's like moving the goalposts every time.
Bingo.
Yeah. Anyone else, or should I go on?
Go on.
Okay.
Case, which makes this whole thing even more hilarious. YouTube's copyright system is abused each and every day because if the request is even remotely plausible, they must act. Someone can, and they have many times, used spurious or totally manufactured reasons in order to leverage the YouTube copyright system and take down any content that they choose, regardless of whether that's valid or not. If the request is even passably valid, if there is even a hint of legitimacy, YouTube simply takes the video down and lets the two parties sort it out amongst themselves. This is honestly a meat stick slap to the face because it means the takedown was so incredibly absurd and so uselessly crafted, not even the hands-off, by law, do-nothing platform of YouTube was able to tolerate it. But I'm not even done, because YouTube actually emailed me the transcript of their communication on the subject. And yeah, I'll just read some of the quotes here. Quote, "Copyright takedown request received for your YouTube video." This to me through email. Quote again, "Hello, the following videos in your account have been restored unless you deleted them. We have determined that the copyright takedown request we received for these URLs was invalid. Your copyright strike has been resolved. Below is a record of the takedown notice we received. Please note the complainant's physical address and phone number have been redacted." End quote. First, it goes through the initial complaint. All of this information, by the way, email, title, name, etc., is publicly available as soon as you search up the company name Bitwise Legal. It's all displayed on LinkedIn pages. It's all contained within basic Google search returns. So I don't want to hear a single thing about doxing or private information. In fact, the only real private information was given when I was forced to dispute the claim by me to Bitwise Legal. Information the public does not know about me. So again, because we already established spurious takedowns of tweet activity referencing private information that this company did was not in fact private. It was publicly available on their website and multiple other places. Just don't go down that road. Nobody should be going down that road. The cited issue is 1604 to 1910 and is signed under penalty of perjury by the authorized party to act on behalf of Sarah Daniels, Michael Schneider. Well, YouTube responded, quote, "We require a more detailed description of your copyrighted work. We won't be able to process your request until you've provided us with this information. Information such as the title of your work, the type of the work, its author's name, the date of creation of the work, a copyright registration number if the work is registered, and or the specific timestamps at which your work appears in the video in question will greatly assist us in processing your request." End quote. Lastly, there is another response from Bitwise Legal that reads, quote, "The following is some additional information about the infringing content. My client, Sarah Daniels, is the author/owner of the content that is subject to this takedown request. The subject video of Ms. Daniels is live streamed from Twitch at the timestamps in the complaint, and an unauthorized reproduction of Ms. Daniels' wedding photo at 1856. End quote. Well, that was the end of YouTube's engagement in this transcript, and then the video got reinstated. And soon after, the tweet reading that the request had been fully denied as invalid was posted on Twitter by the official Team YouTube account publicly under my own tweet. Furthermore,
I'm gonna stop right there. Now, do you guys remember why I asked you guys to, because it's coming up, why I asked you guys to put the Sarah Daniels thing and the clips in the back of your mind, and the Bungie lawyer as well as the who she's married to?
Yeah.
Is this making sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the two videos are connected now, and how kind of sus, as Among Us would put it, sounds?
Yes. The thing is, I knew this was the video to talk about because I did watch both videos beforehand, and I before you started this video, I just went to browse Twitter to check to see, just looked at Sarah Daniels' profile to see if I was blocked or anything, and of course I wasn't. So it's just really interesting why this was had to be done, because this is a streisand effect. And because it's bringing it all up to task, and it doesn't hide from the fact that what Sarah Daniels did and what the lawyer and what the Bungie developer did, it's still disgusting behavior, and that's a step too far to just outright ban him like that.
Anyone else?
Nada.
Okay, we'll go back into it. Because we're almost done this video. We're about 4 minutes left.
or if you simply search, quote, Sarah Daniels C.G. Barrett wedding in Google, you get the exact photo and many, many more that I displayed in that previous video. It is publicly posted on her Instagram, and the photo can be actually found all over the internet. There is no grounds for a complaint of privacy. There is no grounds for a complaint of copyright. There really is no reason that any legitimate legal party with any expertise whatsoever should ever have entered this arena with regards to a copyright claim against my previous video. But hey,
The past year or so has just been pretty insane, to say the very least. Imagine corporate Bungie lawyers being held up as some sort of weaponized deterrent in a coordinated push to deplatform a competitor. Then imagine that someone highlights contextual comments made on public platforms while analyzing that situation with extremely thorough personal commentary. And lastly, imagine a big, bad legal monster who consults for Bungie on behalf of someone who didn't want that content to be seen at all or used, striking down the video so badly it got flat out rejected by a platform that, by law, maintains impartiality and honors any plausible copyright takedown request. Now imagine that the result does nothing but benefit the person who they sought to attack, and ultimately caused hundreds of thousands of people to engage with or view the material that they wanted suppressed. And all of this through the intermediary avatar that has been puffed up and even potentially referred to as Bungie's corporate legal counsel, who does in fact officially claim to have had Bungie as a client, and advertised with emphasis as some sort of legal paragon ready to destroy all adversaries. That is what my battle with a bungling lawyer has looked like. And who knows, if they went after the last one to try and take it down, odds are someone in that rat's nest of a community will go after this video too. So just to add this in here, I'm not afraid of you. So far, everything you do and say is an absolute joke, or it's manipulative at best. The sum total of your personality is disgusting, so bring it on. Now, to go full-on conspiracy here, is it possible that some unknown troll created this entire scenario as a way to stir up trouble? Is it possible someone faked this copyright takedown, committing perjury in the process, claiming to be Bitwise legal on behalf of Sarah Daniels? Yeah, it's honestly possible. But when it all kicked off, I sent a very short, open-ended email to our dear friend Michael using the official Bitwise legal email address and got no response. I said, quote, "Hello. I wanted to reach out regarding a takedown that was placed on a YouTube video on behalf of your client. That video exclusively utilized public clips and social media postings for informational and contextual purposes as a situation was being explained. The content falls squarely under the 4 pillars of fair use, and I want to reach out directly after filing the counter notification to see if this was made in error or if there is an intention here to escalate to court proceedings. Thank you." End quote. If it was a troll, which is why it got rejected so hard by YouTube, perhaps, but if it was, I got no response. If it was Michael from Bitwise, I got no response. And from top to bottom, I have been able to sit back and watch as something so pathetically hilarious unfolds. Instead of stressful, which it normally would be or should be in this type of situation, it has been comedic, practically uplifting. What comes next, I guess I'll take it in stride because so far it really is either inconsequential or flat out beneficial to me. Maximum W. But that's it. If you want support, please consider checking out Odyssey, linked down below in description. It's a YouTube
All right, I will close it there. That is pretty much the end. So before everyone gets a chance to talk, because you're all breathing, going, "Holy crap, what the fuck did happen?" So summing it all up from start to finish, especially people who haven't heard of the whole story, the whole situation going down, and seeing how Echelon can break it down with logical facts, not being biased. What are your thoughts, first of all, on cancel culture as a virus? How do you guys feel about this situation in general? We'll go from the top. Kate, do you want to go first?
Well, I'm not.
You want to come
It's
back?
something that I thought. What?
Sorry.
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I thought.
Words. No, it's not. I've never thought of it as a new thing. Like it's something that's been around a very long time. If you have wrongthink, you are not allowed to get work, and now it's just kind of trickled into what are smaller communities, everyday people, and it's really quite disturbing. It's very not draconian, but yeah, it's bad, but not new. That's the thing that gets me, is that when people act like it's only happened in the last handful of years, no.
I can understand that. For me, it's new to me because I'm actually starting to see it more. That's why
Right.
I'm not saying I can never disassociate that it hasn't been around a long time, but it's been very new to me since I started looking at it and seeing it.
Right.
more.
No, I get that. I totally get that, and I understand that more people are have become aware because they have been personally affected in some way or another. So, but that again, it's kind of brings it to my point that it's now affecting smaller communities and individuals in a way that it hadn't before.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's become a stronger toxic kind of situation in the coming years, or has it just been the gradual buildup from?
I think this is peak. I really do. I think the amount of people who are now aware and are like, well, fuck this, I'm out. They'll end up creating new things and it'll get better because there's obviously more rational people than there are a-holes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Gary kind of defeats that argument.
Well, I mean, you can be an asshole and rational. You would know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sometimes the two are synonymous.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. That's a good point. That's why I like having you on the panel. Very direct and blunt.
Yes.
And now we're and I'm gonna go to Explorer because you are definitely been the quietest one, but I think you've also been kind of WTFing the most as well.
Yes, I have. Well, first, cancel culture is wrong. I think canceling anyone for the way they think, is stupid. Like before social media, these people had. Hold on, let me try and again. Before social media, no one knew what celebrities or, important people, what their political views were, what anything was. They didn't care. They just wanted to be entertained, and that was it. Now with social media and Twitter mostly, everyone knows everything about everyone. And if you don't agree with them, if you don't think like them, then you're a problem that needs to go away. And you could go away quietly with, shadow banning, things like that, or you can go away loudly like this, where we get rid of you through Destiny, and then we try and get rid of you for other games you do in the future. So it's almost like you can quietly go away, or we make a spectacle out of it. And we need to go back to where, who cares what this person thinks? Who cares what this person thinks? Or this does? I mean, as long as, my feeling has always been, as long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting yourself, I don't care what your political, what, sexuality, all that is. I don't care. I care about if you're a good person and if I can be around you and talk to you. Just because if I don't like your politics, then I'm not like, all right, I'm not talking to this person. That's one thing I don't like about you, but you're great talking to you. Other things, that's great. Then I just don't talk to you about that stuff. Who cares? And we need to go back to the point of not getting into everyone else's business all the time. Just focus on yourself. Who cares what they do? And now you're trying to ruin this man's life because now he wants to go play this other game, and now you're asking them to do it. I hope they say no. He didn't do anything wrong in this community that we're making.
Can I ask a question quickly, Explorer? You're referring to that tweet about how the Outriders thing, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, that tweet did get deleted because it was against Twitter's terms of service. I didn't mention that earlier, but yeah, that was considered a weaponized.
Okay, so it's gone.
Kind of thing. Yeah, supposedly it is gone, but the screen. There's been a lot of tweets gone. Eventually, if Huey does the next video and he does decide to go on that road, I plan on covering that as well with people so we can actually see how much stuff has been deleted. But there's a lot of people out there doing screenshotting and archiving, so that will all eventually pop up. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and also the internet is forever. Like, they're screenshotting it. Once it's out there, it never will go away. And that's the other thing people need to remember that too. If you don't want someone to know something about you, don't put it on the internet. Nowadays, everyone needs to put everything on the internet. Why? I don't want to, whatever.
Validation.
So, yeah, it's just like, look at me. It's like, okay. But that's it. That's really it. Like, it's just, cancel culture is a horrible thing. and it needs to stop. And maybe some businesses need to just go away for it to people to really be like, oh, we need to stop doing this, because there are other games, other companies that we can go to besides Bungie if they do more stuff like this, and that's what people start doing. And no one knew anything about. I didn't know anything about this, and then when more people see those videos, more people like us be like, well, that's, you know, what? I'm not playing your game now if you're gonna act like that. I say the wrong thing on there, I'm gonna get banned. So why do I want to do that? So that's it for me.
That's good points, man. And thank you also for being a part of the panel. I do appreciate those points of view. Now we're on to the third part of the Heritage Menace and training, Nick Weiser.
All right, so I'm going to further what Kate said with cancel culture being around as far back as the Corey Feldman days. Once again, people who were speaking out against things, and then they are silenced and put away into obscurity. Yeah, it's definitely now become the face of the mainstream, but it is definitely, creeping its way to the top, and now it is the top. And originally in my time, when I saw these things, I don't know if I was afraid to speak up, but I didn't know how to speak up. And eventually, I just learned you just gotta start somewhere, and you just gotta go for it, and you gotta not back down to these types. We need it. We need a counterculture. A lot of us don't want to get involved in these things. No, but we are at a point where we have to. We need more to speak up. It's not a matter of wanting to, because we need to. Otherwise, this stuff takes over and it becomes forever. And if we don't do anything, then we're absolutely screwed. And we shouldn't have to. This should not be a normal way of living. This should not be a normal way of living. We need to understand. We need to learn how to communicate in person too, when opportunity allows it. We need to learn how to have discourse, whether it's on a political view or on a gender, sexuality. It shouldn't have to matter. Sorry, there's a lot here I could say all day, but we need to learn how to have discourse, and we need to also learn how to protect ourselves from this culture. We gotta also stay on the ground, be alert at all times, because they will eventually try to come for people like us next. They will not stop. And how to stop this? Oh boy, just do as much of our own counterculture as I can. As we can. I'm messing up my words here. I had my rockstar. It's kind of making me jittery here, so my words are not all perfect. But we need to also protect those things once we build these cultures, because given enough time, we will see long-term success in these countercultures. We need to build them up, and then we got to protect them. We got to protect them with all our lives. We really do. So no, this is definitely been a very informative discussion, and I hope this guy sees this through to the very end, because if he doesn't, we're giving them the opportunity to do it again. He needs to see this through. He can't come to an easy settlement. He needs a fight to the very end, because otherwise, like I said, they see it as, oh, he backed down, he gave up. We can do it. Nope, we gotta let him. We can go after him and more others because he backed down. So I hope he sees this through to the very, very end.
I'm gonna add to that quickly, because I think I'm probably gonna misquote, because I definitely don't have photographic memory when it comes to all of his streams, but I don't think he wants the replications. He just wants what was owed to him, what was taken away from him. I think from the purple platform in general, he just wants what he earned. He wants what was taken away. He doesn't want to go after them and hurt people, because not everyone was on that cancel train. So I agree with you. And I think he has been handling this the best way possible. And he has a great wife. He has kids. And those, I guess, to him, from my point of view, are his rock, his shelter, and his confidence. And you can see it in the other videos we've covered before where he talks about them. His whole persona changes, and he feels proud and happy. And I'm glad he has something like that in his corner. He has his whole community with him as well.
No, we got to take it back. We got to take it back. You're right. We got to learn to take this all back. Because the thing is, also at the end, we're ultimately responsible for giving these types of people the power, because we saw the convenience, we saw the good in this, but we didn't think about the possible consequences because of how convenient it was. And now we're seeing the effects of it. So yeah, we got to take the power back. So I'll shut up now. I'll let everyone else go.
Okay, T-shirt, you're up.
Man, it's a lot to unpack. But I will say that I kind of feel the same as some of our other guests. The ugliness of this particular event, it totally turns me off. I mean, I was not interested in Destiny to start with. I had seen it pretty much being review bombed to hell and back, and that gave me a pretty negative image of it to begin with. But I was a little bit more interested in it, seeing how much joy you were getting out of it from watching your streams. But then I hear this, and I see how negative the culture can be and how abusive the company itself can be to its players. And that is a complete turnoff to me, because it's almost kind of like, well, once we have your money, we can just, eliminate you from the platform, and that's that. And you have no recourse, no say, no appeals, nothing. But Bungie's not the only company that does this. Any company out there that has a platform and a game can potentially do the same thing to you. There are other games I play, that are online, and it would be horrendous to be just summarily removed from the game with no explanation and no recourse. I think this kind of move hurts Bungie. I think it hurts the Destiny community as a whole, not just for the loss of the person itself, but also just the image is so tarnished and so ugly now. There's no way you can go back into a Destiny stream or anything like that and see these players who are involved in any of this and not think, oh, I don't really know if I want to get involved in this. This is, maybe I can find something else. And that's the problem. We have lots of other games to play. We have lots of other entertainments to enjoy. So it's not like anybody is being forced to have to play these. So it would behoove Bungie to take a step back and rethink this, maybe set out an apology, and
the Bungie apology tour.
Yeah, but it's basically not even just that t-shirt. Let's put yourself in Lono. I hope I'm saying Lono's name right. Lono, please. I hope to God I'm saying your name right. I think it's Lono. But put yourself in his position. After all this, would you actually want to go back to a game? I know he probably would, because I know he loves the game because he was able to play with his family, his kids and stuff. But from your personal point of view, would you want to go back to this and play this after all the crap happened, if it happened to you?
Absolutely not. It's tainted. The entire experience is tainted. The game is tainted. The community is tainted. It's all under this shadow of this ugliness. And, I sincerely hope that the community can move past it. I hope Bungie will offer some kind of, an apology and reparation to Lono for what they did to him, because I think it was unjust, and I think a lot of other people think it was unjust.
All right.
But at the same time, I would not blame him one iota if he just said, thanks guys, but in the time that you kicked me off your platform, I found other platforms that were more enjoyable or equally enjoyable, and I think I will continue to give them my business.
Yeah.
And that's really how, as players, as consumers of culture, of media, we should be with everything. It's kind of like, you cannot screw over your fan base and get away with it. You should not be allowed to.
Yeah. It's done to their IP what Disney has done to Star Wars and Marvel with Gina Carano. It's done the same thing. It's toxified it, because they're no longer seeing Destiny. They're just seeing the Twitch streamers that have done this thing and the people behind it attached to the company. And they pretty much, it's going to affect their next IP as well. When that Matter game finally decides to drop, people are going to be very uneasy to cover it or envelop themselves in that community, because they're going to have to fight the people that already try to go after other people. It's going to come to them as well. And that's the fear we were talking about earlier. And before we go into the next thing, is it low no or LAN no? Because Hunter, you're throwing me off, man. Is it? Yeah, it's low no. Okay, so low no. Okay, thank you.
Your chat's fighting over the pronunciation.
I love it. We're having Webster's Dictionary war in our chat. It's great. We're now.
It's a nickname. It doesn't count.
Okay, but as we move on, T-shirt, thank you, man. Makini, you're up.
I know I've been probably one of the as somebody who doesn't play Destiny, who doesn't play like any of the Bungie products at all, but yet, you know, seeing this just kind of unfold and probably one of the more vocal people in this panel, it's still a lot to unpack. You know, it's still a lot to. It's just you know, a lot of the comparisons I made is just because it's the same thing that I've been seeing, that we've been seeing for the past couple years. If you're a part of, you know, TFM or CG or whatever, you know, you've seen these situations. You've kept a close eye on these situations in gaming and comics and pop culture regardless. And it's another one that sadly it's just, you know, it's worried. It's definitely worrisome. And but at the same time, you know, if anything is just I learned is that don't, if it ever happens, if it comes to me, I'm gonna make sure that I don't back down. You know, I don't kneel. I don't stand my ground. I stand strong for how I feel about what I say and such. And don't let them get to you. You know, don't let them try to pull that on you. You know, if you have a backbone, then definitely show it. You know, it's just so much is stacked against you though, and you may be in a position where you might not be able to defend yourself. But even then, you still got to though, because I would rather go down fighting rather than just stand and take it and just lose everything. Because at least that way, I know if I'm not going to bend the knee, then I know that I won't lose everything. That I won't have everything to lose because I won't capitulate. You know, that's kind of how I feel about a lot of things, and you know, it's really hard to describe. It's just, you know, it's a byproduct of, you know, social media. It's a byproduct of all these things, and it's just crazy how much it's going powerful. It's like, you know, the thing is that I've noticed one thing on Twitter is that they're labeling like people who are against cancel culture like the anti-cancel culture now. Like they're trying to flip the script and, you know, make, you know, the people who are anti-cancel culture look bad on Twitter and such. And, you know, Yellow Flash and other people who said it, it's just like a lot of I do feel that a lot of the issues may lie on just the fact because of how much social media has been influencing our lives. And it's something that we got to learn to take back. We got to learn to pull it back. You know, we don't need to know everything. We don't want to know everything. It shouldn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I see this. I've been, how I feel personally is that I feel like I've been an observer for the past 6, 7 years, you know? It's just, you know, being just kind of observer, just kind of watching this it all unfold around the world around me and such. And you just, you don't keep your head down, or you just kind of make sure you keep yourself, and you always make sure that you have something that you can be happy for, something that you always have something to be happy for, something that, because it can take you, because being a part of this can take your mind. This can mess you up big time. So you need something to keep your sanity in check. You need something to keep yourself occupied, to make sure that you're not going to fall into that abyss, you know, fall into that endless abyss. And yeah, I hope all the best for Rage. I hope all the best for his family. I hope all the best for, you know, the community, especially this community, especially everybody who support Rage. And I always believe that, you know, they may have canceled, you know, canceled Rage, but reality can play very interesting games on you. And, you know, the people who went after Rage, try to cancel Rage, I always believe that the next person they try to go after, if they continue this, that reality is not going to be kind to them at some point. That I do believe in karma. Karma's going to hit back at them, and it's going to be either, you know, it'll just be at some point, or just be like their own trying to eat themselves. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just seeing all this light, and, you know, all the best for Rage, and I hope he comes back. I hope he bounces back even stronger than ever from this.
He is.
And I do think in the end, I think Rage is going to still, I think when all the dust is settled, Rage is still going to be on top.
Well, he is on top because he's not giving up. That's why it's bothering them.
Right.
Thank you, Mac. You said some good points. And now we're on to my favorite asshole and friend, Gary, as he sips his tea.
What was the question again? Because I've forgotten.
Well, thank you, Gary, for that lovely insight. That was amazing.
I'm serious. What was your exact question? Because
after watching all this, what are your thoughts on the whole package? How do you feel about this?
And dealing with, so you said something about cancel culture, and
cancel culture is a virus.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, I've always been a part, since I became a teenager, part of the counterculture. I was a punk rocker, and this was during a time when we had guys like Frank Zappa and Dee Snider going up to represent rock and roll. I was in a band called the Smelly Pubes, and we wrote very counterculture songs, and just loved it, you know, and hated these people, these right religious individuals that felt they had the moral high ground. And there's nothing worse in our culture than people who think they have the moral high ground over somebody else within their society. And that's really what cancel culture is just another version of the same culture from the 80s. Technically, it even started in the 70s, but it didn't really gain strength until the 80s. And it took a lot of hard work. We kind of beat them back. But the current cancel culture takes its lessons from what the religious right did in the 80s. And they use it to a great degree, and they have something that's even more powerful today than was when we were younger, which is social media. That didn't exist then.
Yep. And
this gives every, we're in the second hour. I can cuss now, right?
To a degree.
Can I F-bomb?
No.
Okay. Every effing psycho out there has a pulpit now. And there are equal amount of crazy people that go, yo, right, amen, sister, amen, brother. And they're all a collective voice. They get into that echo chamber, and then they try to spread it out. And the worst part is when you have people within the media itself that go, well, you know what, we could probably make some money off of this. Let's go ahead and milk this, get it out there. And it has nothing to do with solving any problem for our society. Doesn't help anybody, hurts people, but that doesn't matter because it makes them money. So I am now still counterculture, but now I'm counter cancel culture. And I think anybody with a level head should be. And that's where I end my statement.
That's cool. I think we're going to wrap up now. We're passing the 2.5 hour mark. It doesn't feel like it. My butt cheeks are numb, so. But before we go, I would like to thank everyone in the chat, everyone who has dropped by, who stayed for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or for the whole thing. I appreciate you guys sharing it out. I appreciate you even spamming a like or even just interacting with the chat. I can't thank you enough. I'm humbled by the amount of response back to my panel. You've all been great. You've all been yourselves, and I couldn't ask for a better type of car driving by.
I heard it too.
I know. Yeah. Other than that, you guys are awesome, and thank you for spending your time with me for this. I appreciate it immensely.
Hey, thank you for letting me on here. I appreciate letting me be on. It's nice that we need to talk about these things, and we need to have more of these conversations, and we got to continue to be consistent with it too. So, no, let's keep the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly Sub wants a sandwich.
I do too.
That, I will put your guys' links. You can put it in the private chat, and I will put it in the description. We're going to close out with a little bit of humor from C-Lab, and I'll let everyone get on with their day. To everyone, thank you. This has definitely been a great show. And all I have to say is words from Heel versus Babyface before C-Lab.
A fat Steven Seagal to Canadian. Drinker was so mean and mocked my fatness and movies. Ah, shut up, you fat fuck.
No, can you feel it when I do this? No, can you feel it when I do this? No, can you feel it when I do this? No, can you feel it when I do this? No. Hey, idiots! What time is it? Exactly 3:14.